Yo, what's up, guys? It's Talon, and today we're going to be coaching an Emerald Peak Orianna player. So a lot of this is very fundamental stuff, but it's over 2 hours worth of a video because we go into a lot of depth still. And regardless of your level, I definitely think even higher level players can learn a lot from this coaching. But it goes into some of the basic things, understanding you want to push your wave before you roam, understanding your goal from the different points in the game. I think that's definitely a big focus of this coaching. So if any of that stuff sounds interesting to you, definitely stick around. If you're interested in getting coached by me, a rank 1 solo queue player, just DM me on Discord, Talon1169, or through a link in the description to my Discord server. Also got the Google Doc linked in the description, which gives you all of the key concepts that you need to understand and videos associated with those concepts. But yeah, anyways, let's get right into the video. I hope you enjoy. I'm going to start recording. Let me make sure the sound works properly. You say something?
Hello, hello, hello.
Okay, it works. Okay, so your Emerald, is that your peak rank, or what's your peak rank?
Yeah, I'm at my peak right now. Emerald 2.
Okay, gotcha. Did you like re-download the game? Is that why it's doing this like loading stuff?
Oh yeah, that one I got it on my phone because I
Oh,
normally
oh,
I'm on my
since you got it on your phone. Okay, that makes sense.
yeah
Um,
yeah
do you have any typical things, like questions you had or things you were initially, thinking you would be wanting to learn about with this coaching or anything like that?
yeah definitely like my laning phase. So this game I just played today. It
Mm-hmm.
was interesting because I feel like I actually lost lane
Yeah.
pretty hard, but we managed to bring it back later. Um, I think just with some like just like myself scale and like split pushing at one point.
Yeah.
Um,
So first small thing, I wouldn't, and again, the way it works, basically, I'll just be pointing out all those small little details of your game, which you can look
yeah,
back on the recording, and then we'll write down like the key points, to make sure that like you get like the general points down and everything. So the first small thing is I don't really throw my Q in the bush here most of the time because then, unless I walk really far away, I end up having to Q them out of the bush. You know what I mean when I say QWE, by the way, or do you want me to say first, second, third?
Q's actually better. I used to
Okay.
play League. So,
Okay, good,
yeah.
good, yeah. So you queue the bush right away, then if you don't walk far enough out, you have to queue, and your queue is like awkwardly follow it. Like, it's a lot slower
Yeah.
from the bush. So the only time I would do that is if you're like really worried about a champion camping you from there. If it's like, I don't know, like a Jace or like an Akshan or something, or like some assassin, but it's a Brand. Even if Brand does get the jump on you, you can trade with him evenly, and you're pretty fine with that. So we don't really care about that. And like I said, it makes
Yeah.
it kind of awkward. So most of the time, we're more just like kind of standing in the lane, waiting until the wave comes, and just walking up with the wave. So that's the first like little thing here. But it's not like a big deal. Like this is not like a bad thing to do necessarily. Um,
I think I watched like Faker do that once or something, like a long time ago. So I do it every time. But
Yeah,
yeah,
and again, it's not like the worst habit to have in some games. League is a bit different. So like early game is a lot, or rather like before the minions come is a lot longer in League. So
yeah,
like there's a lot more time where like yeah, Faker, Chovy, whatever, they'll like walk up the ward this, or not ward it, they'll queue it, and then they'll move their queue to another bush, and they'll move it to another, and then they basically can scout out whether or not they're getting like early invaded before level 1 or like these types of things. Whereas
right.
your goal is like an Orianna in Wild Rift, where the wave comes literally at 15 seconds, is pretty much just only the lane is all that we really care about. We're never looking for a level 1 invade. We're never really like, if someone's in that bush or not, you're not going to do shit about it. You're just going to sit here. So it doesn't matter whether or not you know, whereas in League it matters more if you know that. Now, it might be different if
Okay.
like your teammate's looking for a level 1 invade for some weird reason, but without those kind of weird things, we literally will just sit back in lane, and it won't really matter. Does that make sense?
Yeah, understood, man.
Okay, cool. So then you said you were losing this lane, and we can kind of see why already initially. So the first thing is he misses his, I think it's his E. I don't play Brand, but I think it's E. He misses E on you right away. As soon as a champion misses an ability on you, like you need to take as much space as possible in lane, because they don't have anything to damage you. Like he's a mage, he's not going to hurt you at all basically at this point. So you should be walking up. Like you don't need to be standing here. You should already be walking. Do you see my cursor?
Yeah.
Like basically like walking up here. Click your portrait lock on him. Are you aware of how portrait lock works? Just want to make sure we know some of these types of
Why?
things.
No, I didn't know that was a thing.
Okay,
What
so
is
yeah,
that?
if you tap your hand on your thumb, whatever, on this thing right here, it will put your, like, it'll target him automatically. And
Okay.
then you can auto aim like a Q on him, for example, and then auto attack, and it'll auto attack him when you're in range. And so doing this type of thing just allows you to obviously like target him for free instead of like possibly getting them onto the minions or whatever. You can also just drag your auto attack onto him. That's fine too. It really is what you're comfortable with. But yeah, like he has like his E. I don't know the E cooldown, but you're always going to assume an ability is usually 5 seconds minimum cooldown, usually longer.
Yeah.
So you have 5 seconds to take space in the lane. As you're taking the space, auto attack these minions so that you create the natural push for yourself and you have prio. But then also try to get a trade off before his E comes back and then walk back once his E is coming up. So basically right now, like you see, you walk back here and you're not really doing anything. And then at this point is when you're finally doing this, which is not bad because you're punishing his last hit. So this is good. You could have done this slightly earlier, and then you also should have thrown a Q on first, because what ends up happening is when a minion gets 1 HP like this, and you auto attack, the aggro from the minions goes to you, which means that minion doesn't die. Whereas if you Q, your Q does not draw aggro. So and it does more damage obviously than an auto. So we much prefer you to either auto away from the minions enough where like it's not going to draw aggro, or wait until the minion actually dies and then auto after. So initially here, basically the point is I would Q first and auto after, which is a smaller thing. But again, like as he's walking back here, if you just Q'd this, you can see he's walking back. He's not going to auto that. He's going to lose that. And then once the minion dies, that's when you can walk up for an auto if you want. Instead, you auto, and you also never Q'd. Like even when he walks up for this last hit after, you could Q because he's obviously going to walk for it. So we want to be able to punish these last hits more effective. So basically, first thing is enemy waste abilities. Pressure harder. You didn't do a bad job of pressuring, just could have been a little bit quicker about that. And then be aware of the minion aggro. Try to just get that Q out initially, and then auto after the minion's dying. Or if you just want to take a really big trade, you auto and Q/Q auto. You can really do it in either order, because you only autoed, you didn't even Q here at all, right? So, and then the other thing about yeah, go ahead.
Do you have any like if I wanted to find like your VODs on just Orianna, like a bunch of Orianna VODs, would you have that on your channel?
No,
somewhere?
I don't have like a group of Orianna VODs. If you remind me, like message me or whatever, I will like look through some streams to find you some games to watch, like 5 or 10, whatever. Some might be from like last season, right? But it doesn't really matter. There's nothing that's changed well, because yeah, I also I'll just show you quickly. I don't really know, we're not in a rush unless you're in a rush for time. Then let me know.
No,
but,
no, I'm good.
Okay, so if I just go to YouTube and then I go to again, I played less this season, so if I want to find specifically from this season, it'll be harder to because my titles don't change. But in terms of last season, I
Oh shoot.
so like these are all my streams because I stream basically every day. But from last season, so you go to like, it was what last season started like 2 months ago. You see it has like mid today, whatever, ADC today. So obviously you know which role I'd be playing. However, I played a lot more Syndra than Orianna. Syndra macro is the exact same as Orianna. There's not a single difference between the macro of Orianna or Syndra. So if you're just trying to be like, should I have made this decision, as Orianna, where should I be and win, whatever, watch me play Syndra because I played a lot more Syndra. But if you're wanting like obviously specific mechanics or whatever, there's some Orianna. I think I've played 10 to 20 Orianna games this season. So like I said, I can kind of look through some of that and see if I can find that as well. But yeah.
Yeah, that's chill. Yeah. Okay, awesome.
Okay, and yeah, like I said, just remind me about that. Otherwise, I might forget. Or if you remember a week from now, again, you're always free to message me with random questions, like small questions about the game, or if do you have a video on this topic, whatever. But yeah, so then in this also, the thing I wanted to mention is we love having our ball out on the ground in this sort of like middle area to zone the enemy because it will travel obviously much quicker if it's already out on the ground. So like after like you want to just like have an excuse to just try to walk up and just try to Q this guy, and then if you miss, just make sure your Q lands right around here, because then anytime he walks up from there, again, you portrait lock, you literally just walk at him and then you tap it and it will auto aim to him, and it's like super easy, and he can't really dodge it because it's gonna be there almost instantly because it's so close to him. Like this, like yeah, right now you need to be pretty concerned with your ball not expiring. So like you would walk to the left here instead of you walking down, and also you're staying on minions, which is bad because he has AoE, so it's going to hit both of you, right? You don't want to do that as well. But if you just walk up to the left here, then again the ball's going to stay, whereas if you walk back, it'll disappear because it'll be out of range. So kind of keeping like that type of thing in mind. And then, yeah, it's really good that you're autoing right now. So you see you walked back, and that's where it disappeared. What you'd prefer to do is you walk more to the left here. You keep autoing this minion. You're going to hit level 2 off this minion.
Uh-huh.
Quite like you guys are going to hit level 2 in like a second. And then you'll QW him, and then you'll back off. Instead, you lose your
Oh,
ball, so then now it's a lot harder to land your Q of your... And then you see how there, like, again, it's a little more awkward. And you also... So first, does that part make sense? Everything there?
yeah. So I heard that you
Yep.
said that like the is it the third minion of the second wave that gets you level 2?
No.
Or wait,
So
which third minion of the first?
in duo lane, the first minion of the second wave, so the 5th total, gets you level 2. But in the solo lane,
Okay.
because obviously you're not sharing XP, it's different. So the 3rd or the 4th will get you. It depends on game time, because obviously you get more XP as the game goes on naturally. So you can actually see right now, like, he is literally, I forget, it's 36, 37 seconds, something like that. Where if it's at roughly, I don't know the exact time, but I think 37 is roughly. Then you only need to kill 3 by 37 onwards. But if it's before 37 or 36, 38, whatever it is, then you need to kill all 4. So killing 4 will always give you level 2, which is just all 4 minions of the first wave. But killing 3, if you wait long enough, will. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about is just walking up at him when he has level 2 before you upgrade your spell. Like, you can just kite back here, actually upgrade your W, instead you get kind of awkward with it. And I'm guessing you probably missed the button once or twice, because sometimes I do that, where I'm trying to upgrade it, but I like fat finger the button.
Yeah, I think I was trying to QW there for sure.
Yeah, and then you miss it because you just kind of
Yeah.
yeah, you kind of
Then
like
I had to
get a little awkward with it. It is what
yeah.
it is, though. And then, yeah, so at this point, when the lane is not going as well, again, our goal is just to get a back for even a lost chapter. Ideally mana boots, but like if you're taking a lot of damage, you can recall earlier, but you're fine. You're not even that low compared to him. But right now,
Mhm.
again, you're kind of like really far back, not realizing that your champ way outranges him, like in terms of spells, because your W gives you the way longer range, like with your Q, compared to his E is just nowhere near as long range. So like when he walks up for this last hit, you need to try to outspace him and walk up to QW like this, but then immediately back off. But again, you're aiming it. Portrait lock, you can maybe aim your Q if it's like easy, but you're like this is kind of a weird thing, but when you drag your spells so far before you're actually aiming it, you then like it gets really awkward. You're like holding on to it and you're like you feel forced to use it instead of like auto attacking and then just walking in, but
Yeah.
once you're in range, you just do it. So just like be a bit more okay with just dragging it out right away rather than trying to aim it so, like precisely. It's like the point of the Q usually is to get in range to W. The W is an AoE. You don't need to like exactly land it perfectly, you know? Um,
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
so yeah, there's
Yeah,
that part.
I
Yeah.
that I think in a couple games where I felt like I would queue way too early and then I would miss a minion because I didn't
Yeah.
auto it in time or
Yeah, I mean, the most important thing is just getting your autos up. Like, you're happy to go even in any lane. And here, again, your jungle's coming. You should be baiting this guy right now. Like, walk up at him and exhaust him. Just
yeah.
fight
I
him.
noticed that way too late. I remember
Yeah.
this.
And your guy even pinged you, so, like, shout out to the Hecarim for pinging. I mean, okay, Hecarim is an idiot. He shouldn't be ganking at 112. It's too early, but he is, and so we have to do something about it. And just walk at
Yeah,
him.
but
And I think he
that
should still die. Yeah. And you also, so again, you need to exhaust. Yeah, so we're just not aware of jungle pathing at all here. This guy is 100% dead. Just flash on his head, exhaust him, and he dies. Because he has no ignite. So he can't actually kill you. And you also don't even use your
Oh.
E. But yeah, he has no mana. Brand is a mana hungry champion. You have full mana. Also, so this is something you'll probably notice if you watch most of my Orianna games. I'm
Hmm.
recalling, and when this happens especially with Syndra, but with Ori too. I'm recalling. I'm usually recalling on level 4 roughly, because that's when I get 900
Hmm.
gold for mana boots. My mana is going to be like 20%, 30%. You having full mana, you're trolling the game. Like, it is so bad to have full mana, because
Mm.
every chance that your spells are coming up and the enemy walk up, you QW, back off, QW, back, like, and you're not, like, you're full mana. It should never happen. And so the fact that he's no mana, though, you should be aware of, and you just fuck him because he can't fucking hit you. Like, he can't do anything. And exhaust him too,
Right.
because it slows him. And then E your teammate as well. Like, your teammate's running in and you're not Eing him. You do eventually, but you're not aware of it quite as quick as you could be. But either way,
Hmm.
outcome wise, it's fine. All you have to do now is push the wave and then recall. Just push the wave
Yeah,
and
I think
recall.
so
You're
that
not trying to fight him, so. And you do
probably just
that.
like
Yeah. So this is good though. Yeah. And yeah, again, you can just either like you just like you're gonna recall. There's no reason to not waste some of your mana by just eing that instead of one more auto. Small thing, more of an annoying thing because I'm a I play a bunch of Ori, so and normally I don't tell people these random small things because I don't play their champion that I'm coaching them on. I'm usually not that
No,
champion focused, but yeah, you got me on a champ that I play a bunch of, so
yeah. No, this is really good because I have a lot of games on Ori,
yeah.
and I think I'm I'm not as good as I need to be for the amount of games that I have. It's like a bit sad, honestly.
I mean, mechanically, you're not like playing it super bad or anything. I think the biggest thing is just like the lack of comfort with aiming spells. Like you're like again holding your Q for a long time, or like you don't use your E very well. Like I think E usage too. Like you can just be spamming it a bit more, just for that extra. Like again, you Q W E someone, and then because you have the E shield, you can auto them once and take some damage because you're having that shield. Like getting value out of that too, or Eing your teammate like that. Those types of things, and then I just don't see why,
Mm-hmm.
like, you're auto attacking a minion like you're a melee champion. Like, you see how close you are, and then this is why it makes it, like, easier for Viego to gank you here. Like, why would we be hovering near a bush where it's dangerous? Also, you have two wards, so you can ward these. As a control mage, like Orianna, Cinder, or whatever, you can usually just ward these bushes early game. Like, if you're, like, an aggro champion, like Ari, Jace, whatever, sometimes you want to push wave and get, like, wards on their camps. But as Orianna, just
Oh,
ward these. Yeah, what's up?
I had a question about like timings for warding and where to ward.
Yeah.
So like I get ganked here, and I think I either die or I almost die, and
Yeah.
I felt yeah. I'm just like I'm sometimes like when I shove the wave, I'm not sure where I want. I know I want to ward because like I have priority in the mid lane, but I don't know where
Mhm.
to.
Yeah, so
I'm not sure what. I feel
there's
like I need to learn like
four.
pathing.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry, no, I was just saying I feel like I need to learn like jungle pathing probably to like know where I want to ward.
For
But
most
I'm
champions, yes, but not for Orianna. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think I can play Orianna without wards, and I don't care. It wouldn't matter because what you're doing in lane is literally you just play purely for selfish gold in lane, farming and poking the enemy. You're not roaming. You're not really worried about these types of things for the most part. Um, So it's not as important for these types of champions. However, there are still obviously good wards to do. So there's 5 places to ward. The first places to ward are either of these bushes. Well, these is place 1 and 2, right? You see the bushes that my cursor's on. Um,
yeah.
so those are the best words when your goal is just to play safe in lane. You're not like super strong early, and you're just wanting to make sure you don't get ganked and you get a bit of a jump on them, like knowing when they're gonna gank you. Then like the slightly better words are gonna be in the river, sort of like the bush in the river, like right around where my cursor is right now. I don't know
Yeah.
exactly how to describe, but yeah, like those bushes. Those are a bit more effective because junglers can avoid the first word that I talked about if they like go around a wall, like the side of the wall. So you get
Yeah.
a little less vision, but it's easier to place, obviously. And then the best ward is any camp because you can find a camp and then you know where the enemy jungle is going. So for mages who are usually not, like just pushing wave and then shoving and roaming, you can just do the simple word that we talked about the first one. For champions who are more roam focused or when you're just winning lane really hard, that's when you do either the deeper river word in the bush or you do the camp word.
Mhm.
So that's really the gist of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So like probably like Raptors or Blue.
Yeah, raptors and blue are the places you would usually word for sure.
Okay, gotcha.
Um, but yeah, the other thing I was going to talk about here is so yes, you obviously just should have just worded this bush because you had 2 words. Why not, right? Like as you're walking up.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, and also when you're positioning in lane, hover towards the side you have vision. So say that you did word this, you would hover more towards the right side, right? Or you hover towards your jungle. One of those 2 options. But the problem is your positioning in this lane. So it's a Viego. Do you know champion spells relatively well? Do you know which champions do what and everything?
I used to play League a while ago. I wasn't around for when Viego came out, and you
Okay.
can tell by this because I get destroyed by this guy, bro.
Hmm.
He kills me 4 times.
So the reason I say that's important is because Viego has 3 spells. So the first spell is his Q. It's literally just he slashes you and it does damage. And then if he ever lands a spell on you, by the way, it gives him kind of like Lucian passive where he gets to auto twice, but he has to like land the spell
Oh,
on you to do that. Um, so there's that. But the Q is just it's just a slashing damage on you. It's pretty straightforward, you know, in a straight line, whatever. The second ability is a charging stun, kind of like Vi. And that stun gets blocked by minions. So his only CC gets blocked by minions, which is why positioning in minions so he can't stun you is important. That's kind of why I asked if you know what he does. Third ability, I think you know probably the invisible thingy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then in his ult, obviously.
It goes walls too, like
What's
that.
up?
Is it that or that goes around the walls? Is that his?
Yeah, yeah. If he places it, it literally will envelop everything around the wall. So if he placed it right here right now, it would go all the way around. If you place it on this wall, it goes all the way around the wall. Place it on dragon, it goes around the entire dragon pit, stuff like that. So it just basically envelops an entire wall, or like whatever. Or if he puts it like on the side, like say he goes here, like on the far left of the map, it'll go like really far along the wall. Not like the entire enemy base, but it goes pretty far.
Okay, yeah, okay, true.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking, yeah, how far would that go?
Yeah, it's a cutoff point. I don't know exactly, but yeah, it eventually gets cut off. It's not going to go into their base or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. But the other point that I'm trying to make is just there's no reason to walk melee range into this minion. Like you just stay as far away as you can, but still autoing this minion to clear it because the enemy's not currently in mid. But you stay like more like towards here and your minions and whatever, and more in the middle point of the map so that you can't be ganked from either side. But you're standing in a point where Viego can just walk at you, and then he does. But he missed his stun. It's not the end of the world, and you walk back, and then you ward here, and like that's all fine. And now you just focus on mid prio, just poking the enemy. But again, like when you walk up, the thing is your spacing is really awkward as a player. Like I don't know how to describe this better than that, but it's just like you walk up. If this is a good player right now, like as Orianna, they just walk up, they QW this the brand, they E it back to them, and they just walk back. But like you walk up just like a little further, and you're like really trying to squeeze that Q damage, and then you also don't W right away. So once we get past the early lane, like the first couple levels, you want to land your Q when you can. Past that, just get a QW, just land the W. If you land the Q, great, but we're not like that concerned with it. We mostly care about the W poke and just having some level of positioning there. But now you don't land your W either, which means you don't proc first strike. So you see how you only have 13 first strike gold? That means you've only procced it once. You should proc, like one of your main things you're playing around in lane is just proccing first strike when it comes up. So you get 50, 60 gold from it in lane. Obviously more if you're stomping. But like into a brand, you know, he's a shorter range than you. You should be able to proc it a decent amount. If you're into Morgana, okay, sometimes we're going to only get 20, you know, from or like because it's just Morgana. But we need to be more aware of that. That's one of your main goals is just poke it with the little W. You know, every time you QW, it's just like you're squeezing like 10, 20 gold out of lane for free. So just be more aware of that. And then also, we don't want to go and fight. Viego's stronger than Hecarim early. Viego's level 5. He's level 4. And Brand is stronger than you early and better in skirmishes. We do not want to skirmish as an Orianna. We want to push the wave. If someone goes and fights stupidly on our team, we push wave and we get selfish gold. If the enemy mid rotates for no reason, we push and we get gold. That is all that your champion wants to do. If you were an Ahri here, and your Viego, or your Hecarim was Viego, and, you know, he was level 5, right? And enemy Viego is a Hecarim who's level 4. Of course, then you're going to go, because your champion's more early game realm focused, you have the level advantage, whatever. But don't concern yourself with your team if you're playing Orianna, and you're aware of this. Your champ is very, very insane scaling. You hit death cap, and you can carry really insane games. But if you go and you skirmish these types of fights, you're going to lose them usually anyways, you know, especially when you have a weak Viego or a weak Hecarim, right? And then this happens, so. He fucks it up over the wall, so it still killed you, though. Does that make sense, though?
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. So I can like, yeah, honestly, I think even when I did that, I kind of looked back and I thought, no, I should have definitely just farmed there or pushed the wave.
Yeah, I mean, just like, consistency to like these champions, I get bored sometimes playing because of just their macro is so
simple.
Yeah, so linear, so simple. It's just there's only one thing to do, and that's get gold. And then you hit 11 minutes, and then now it turns into get mid prio so I can help with objectives, you know, once you hit that like power spike. And also, like, don't be a bitch. Squeeze out this fucking wave, you know, this turret plate. Like, he's not gonna one-shot you, you know? Like, you can get this turret plate. Again, your only goal is to squeeze out gold. If you can squeeze 150 gold for free and you take 1 E in Q from him and you get stunned and you get like half HP, that's great. You would definitely trade half HP for a kill and this is half of a kill. So like that's, you know,
Mhm.
just a simple little thing to think about. And you don't know where enemy jungle is, I know, but like it's pretty unlikely you're getting ganked at that exact time. And then yeah, it's good to QW
Wait,
here.
how do you know that? Is that because he just recalled?
Well, you guys
Or
just got in a fight earlier. He wasted ult, he wasted flash, he wasted everything. He's probably not gonna
Mhm.
immediately walk mid lane. Like also, if you currently look at the situation, you're full health and he doesn't. You have no idea where he is. He doesn't know that you're really gonna be walking up and starting to hit this a bunch here. Like you just generally don't expect him to
wouldn't
just
get
be ganking you randomly. Like he could, but again, yeah, a fight just
be
happened.
a
He
bad
wasted
play
most of
though.
his cooldowns. He's probably gonna go back and farm and whatever. So,
Okay.
does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
And I
Yeah, I
know
have
that.
full HP.
Yeah, yeah. And you also could have warded again the bush, right? You should have warded that bot bush right here, because then it would be safer as well. Like you'd be more aware if an enemy jungle did come, for example. Because you don't want to spend much time pushed up in this lane. You know, you want to get the wave cleared and then leave, but you want to, and you hover towards your ward here, so this is good. And you asked about jungle tracking, so I should explain that in a second as well. But the thing I wanted to mention is you auto this minion, but you're about to QW to clear this, so you should auto the higher health minion, so you can QW, they both die. Instead,
Oh,
it takes you longer, and then you also
I
miss it.
missed that one.
Yeah.
Ah.
Don't worry, it happens to all of us.
Oh, this
Well,
one kills me. Oh my god, this one's
oh, because you
you're
don't
gonna
kill
cringe.
him. Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
again, your mechanics, like the biggest problem is you don't leave your ball out and you E it back to you right away, and you also W
I
yourself.
think I fat fingered the E there.
Yeah, maybe you meant to W, but obviously, yeah, you Q and then you don't get your W damage, so he dies. It doesn't die. That is tragic. Even here, you could have probably Q'd over the wall and ulted. I think you had the range to do that, to be honest,
Oh,
but it would have been a little close. And then you get greedy. Like this is like stop, you know, like we're
yeah.
just be okay with accepting the loss and like take the L, you know. Instead, you get greedy, and honestly, you should die here. But the brand is kind of dog shit. And again, you E yourself. Like it's QW, not QE, right? You QW,
Yeah.
you get the slow from them, you chase them down further, you E your Hecarim and you ult him, and then like boom, it's just free. But again, you're doing this dragging thing. Once again, stop this, right? Like just drag it out as soon as you're actually wanting to use it. Don't get in this habit, you know, of dragging it because it's clearly just making it really awkward for you. And like I said, get used to either dragging your because if you drag your auto attack onto the champion and then you auto aim your spells, it will automatically target them as well. Or you do the portrait lock and it will automatically target them. So get more used to using auto aim. But yeah, what's up?
Sorry, so I want to tap these instead of dragging them then, right? That's what you're
You
saying?
want to tap them when they're like just free right in next to you. The time where you want to aim it is when you, for whatever reason, maybe you think they're going to dodge a certain way or you want to get it full distance. Because if you Q it, or sorry, if you tap it, it will auto aim it as though this champion stood still and it'll put the ball exactly in the middle of him. So it's not going to go as far. So if you're just trying to get
Mm-hmm.
quick QW to slow them, but you don't care about the ball placement, that's when you tap it. But you drag it when you want to like place it. So say like you're in a team fight and there's like 3 people walking here and you want to zone them and then get like a nice ball positioning for all of them and you're not trying to hit any one of them, you're trying to get, you know, a really good ult. That's when you're going to drag it because you're trying to get in a specific spot. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, that does.
Okay, cool. So, and that's again, pay attention to those types of things. Like look at my screen, like when does Talon tap it? Like when you're watching my gameplay back and whatever, when do I tap it? When do I drag it? And kind of like see would I do the same thing there? And if you are ever confused, you can literally just be like you can send me the VOD and be like, this is the timestamp. Why'd you do this? And sometimes I'll just tell you it's because I was a fucking idiot. And sometimes it's going to be a reason. You know, you never really know. But that can kind of help you understand a bit better. And then yeah, stop eating stuff back to you. Like your E does almost no damage, so it's very rare that you're wanting to spam it back to you as soon as you do. Like the time where you E back to you is you QW, you E in lane, and then you shield and you start auto attacking in lane. But in like team fights, the E is more like to get it back to yourself so you can throw the ball straight from your body when you want that, or you put it onto a teammate, or when they are 1 HP and you're just trying to get max damage. Like, but that's after you've used your full combo. Instead, you're again, very often you don't use your W to chase them down because it slows them. So obviously we need to get more value from that. So yeah. And then it's fine to hover here. Wait, did Hecarim die to brand poison or something. Not poison, but like burn. I thought he was alive. Yeah, he must have died to the
Yeah,
burn.
I think he got turret hit, and maybe yeah, and then
Yeah, it was a turret. I mean, so this is like when do we see Viego versus when do we react? I mean, I guess it's because you
yeah,
autoed. You should be exhausting though. I don't know why you don't exhaust. Like you can exhaust when you're stunned, but you should just be spamming your exhaust and then alting. So also, are you aware of how you're? I mean, I assume you're aware. If you're here where my cursor is right now, and you alt, it will knock him back this way, like because it draws to the middle. So when you're running away,
yeah,
you want to have this brief moment where you're actually behind them, so they get knocked back, and then they get stunned briefly there. You run away. So you could have done that. Instead, you never ult, and I think you're just not wanting to waste it. But like, it's not a big deal to waste. Like Orianna ult is not like you can miss it. You know, obviously don't just spam it for no reason. But like, if you're trying to use it to run away, it's a totally fine like thing to do. It's not really a problem.
right.
But yeah, you're just basically missing out on a lot of these little gold opportunities, like when your teammate fights and you go there before pushing the wave. And then you're dying because you're not placing your vision in these bushes. Like just place the vision in these simple bushes, and you're gonna see people coming to gank you as well. And then position just more towards the middle of the lane, because even if we do go back here as well, where you're auto attacking from, is like again just a little further to the right. It's pretty neutral though. This is a little nitpicky. It's not really a big deal, but it was kind of happening before as well. Just like be aware, like when you were level 4 hitting the minion and the Viego ganked you when he was level 5. Like that time is more of the time I'm referring to. But we want to be a bit more aware of that type of thing.
Yeah,
And then yeah, you see how you auto aim to
not
dare.
being in main.
Like that's the type of auto aim I want you doing though. So that's good. And you also haven't ulted once, which is fine. You don't always have to ult a lot, but you're very scared to ult. Like, it's okay to miss it. I miss it a lot. Watch my stream, you'll see me miss a lot of ults. It's fine. So there's that. Yeah. Sorry, were
Gotcha.
you saying something? I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I think no, you're good. You're good.
Okay. Then we just want to reset here. You have item. You're not doing shit here. Yeah, you're just sitting here. Like, we never are chasing like this. You're going on midwave. You push midwave. So first of all, typically want to reset on Ludens unless we have an objective we're fighting over right now. But like right now, you have nothing that you're doing. Your team is fighting far away from you. You're not there, and jungle's dead, so your jungle's not going to like go get an objective. Just reset, grab your Ludens, and then come back to lane, push mid, and then you can go fight after. You're not trying to fight all these early Dragon and Herald fights. You don't really care about them. Like, you can go once you push a wave because, there's no reason not to go and maybe get a kill or an assist or two or whatever. But you're not that keen on going to those as early as possible. You push mid and then you go. But again, you reset first because you're way stronger on Ludens than not having it. Instead, you get stuck in lane even though you
I was scared to reset.
Why?
Sorry. Sorry, yeah, I was just gonna say I think I was scared to reset here because like there's like a 5-second timer on like those objectives. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to.
Gotcha.
I should have like probably backed off here.
Oh, for sure you should have backed off here. But so I think you're a little overly concerned with objectives. Like you said, there's a 5-second timer till they're spawning, and so you wanted to be there. So there's a couple things with that. The first thing is, because you missed all of this gold, you didn't hit Ludens until... are you good? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, I heard myself echoing. I was just... It seems good now. It's good now, though. But either way. So typically, you're going to be hitting Ludens a wave earlier if you're, like, really getting gold well. But this is still a fine time to hit Ludens. But you should immediately be pushing this wave. Finding a recall, so what? Like, when do you actually get the wave? So this is the thing. You back off of Brand, and then, like, so you don't queue because you're scared. But if you're looking to recall, it doesn't matter if you take 99% of HP, which you're not. He'll do, like, 20 or 30, maybe 50 max. You can take some damage to get the wave push faster because you're going to recall. But instead, it wastes more time, and then you have to wait for another spell rotation. But then even now, you could have recalled, like, now. Like, you're at 1 second before objective spawns. Because if we look at it right now, nobody's fighting the objectives. 2 of the enemy are dead. Your jungler is dead. You're not just going to go fight it without your jungler. And even if your jungler is fighting it, like, if it's a fight and it looks like a good fight, you can push mid and go. But typically, we want to reset first to buy our Ludens and then go after, unless, like I said, it looks like a really good fight and you can just go and get some free assists there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does.
Okay. And then also, this is your fear for alting, by the way. Like, QW ult this guy. If you ult right now, he's dead. Like, so that's also just a separate thing I didn't really
Yeah.
notice initially. You're terrified to ult, though. Like, just fucking... I want you to ult every time you have a slight feeling that you should ult, and then eventually you're going to need to rein it back. But, like, this is the best way to get rid of that fear, is just fucking do it, you know? Like, just do it. I guess I'm a Nike, like, guy now. I don't know, but you get the point. But what's up, though? Sorry.
No, I guess yeah, like limit test, I guess, right?
Yeah. And it's
Like,
just,
find
yeah,
out
it's just
where
about
my
the
limit.
like, even there, you could have probably ulted that guy briefly. I mean, like, this guy's 1 HP and we just haven't ulted him, and
Oh,
unfortunately gets stunned. Yeah. And also QW then ult, because the W slows. So, like, don't Q ult, QW ult. But yeah, like, you still haven't ulted. Like, even here, can you ult this guy? Yeah, fucking ult him. Like, again. Or E your teammate and then ult onto your teammate. Like, and again, you E'd yourself instead of your teammate. A little scared there. But yeah, just do it. Just do the ult more. You can miss it every once in a while. Obviously, you still be relatively patient with it. You don't just like throw it out for no reason, but definitely be a bit initially just go crazy with it as much as possible. And then again, push your mid wave before going for all these fights, because you're not very useful in fights. The way you can be useful again is pushing mid. So again, you just go here. You're half health. You have fucking no flash, no exhaust. The fight's already over. The dragon's gone. There's nothing to fight over now. Push mid. And then you can do whatever you want with your time. Like, that is just the habit you need to get in your mind. It's just, I push mid, then I do whatever I want. And yeah, again, if you QW ult this guy, he dies. The ult, it wouldn't have hit there because your Q was too far back. So it's good that you didn't ult there. But you definitely could have been like trying to find, you know, the ult angle or something. And then yeah, you finally find your recall, but it's quite late. Usually you're wanting to get your recall around 5:30, 6 minutes at the latest, right? But usually 6 is a little late. So you can get your Ludens. Like, you know, when you can do that, it's definitely ideal. And then again, you go here, you're trying to fucking get a magical steal. You're not him, you know, like, just go mid, get the wave, and then, like, because again, you lose more gold for a random steal when you're in early game Orianna. Sure, it happens every once in a while and it feels fucking awesome, like, I get that. But most of the time, you're just wasting your time. You're not going to steal it without your jungler there 95% of the time. You know what I mean? And then again, just QW this guy when he's walking up to you. But you just don't do that. You do it eventually, but you do it kind of late. And then also, you again have like a QW ult angle potentially on this guy. If you QW 1 or 2 more times, get him poked out, you can find a possible solo kill, and you kind of want to have that in the back of your mind. But it's fine to just push mid and then go cover another lane or something along those lines. Basically, the big issue... Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Like, I never solo kill as Orianna.
I don't either.
It's
very rare in Orianna. Yeah.
But I've seen you like go for plays where I'm like, that's not gonna kill, and then like you kill. Like on your rank 1 Orianna video, I think I might have seen like you get an ult in lane and like you turned it into a kill where I thought I didn't see a kill there.
Yeah.
I think
that does come with you like, not being so scared with like trying. Like, if you truly, you know your champion relatively well. You've said you played it a lot. You know the damage pretty well. So I think what you're not seeing is, like, you're just thinking, if I QW ult, he doesn't die. But the difference is, if I QW ult, he's slowed. I can wait for my next spell rotation to come up. He's going to die from that spell rotation, and I can chase him down while it's coming up. Like, that's the type of thing, oftentimes, that's coming, that I'm imagining. Obviously, I don't know the situation you're talking about. I don't remember because that video is a bit old. But it's probably stuff like that. That's usually when I see the angles. Other than that, yeah, it just comes from you testing your limits a bit more and understanding whether or not you can kill in these situations. So if you're like thinking, I can kill, be confident in that, because you have no confidence right now in your champion, even though it's a champion you've played a lot of. Just be confident that you're right, that you can kill, try to do it, fail, and then now you know, okay, I was wrong. And why was I wrong? Maybe you're wrong because he had flash. Maybe you're wrong because Sivir spell shielded it. Maybe you're wrong because you just didn't do enough damage because you didn't have your Ludens up. But the more and more times that you're wrong, the more times that you're not going to be wrong in the future. The reason that you see me doing this now is because of all the times that I fucked up. Like, my win rate on Orianna after like 200 games was like 48% or some shit. I was shit on her. I missed a bunch of ults. It took me a long time to get good at this champion. More than, honestly, like, it took longer than a lot of other champions that I get good at. Like Syndra was just like a lot quicker. But champs like Orianna sometimes do take time to get used to, and you're like, even if you've spent a bunch of games playing her, if you're not ever trying these things, then you're never really, you know, going to actually get to that level.
Right.
Then again, get on mid wave and then immediately start creating that cycle where you go to another lane. So just push the wave as quick as possible. Again, Q that. Like, again, this is kind of the thing too. You're trying to QWE and then you want to Q one more time to finish the wave, but you're not positioning in a way to do that. Like, you do this and then you back up so far even though your Q is already back up. You can Q this minion one more time, then you get to leave immediately. Instead, you have to sit here another 3 seconds and then your teammate takes your wave from you. Whereas now, mid-wave, there's nothing in mid for like 25 seconds because you just killed mid-wave as soon as I got there. Go find gold elsewhere. There's a camp top and there's a camp bot right now. You can go for Krugs, you can go for Raptor, or Wolves they're called. Or if top wave is a little further, you can go there. But your goal as Orianna in the mid game is to find gold everywhere you can. You push mid and then you use the fact that mid's pushed to find gold somewhere else. And you do it here. This is great. It's exactly what you should be doing with your time. So it's very, very perfect. And then you can even just go into top because your teammates are fighting mid. But you go back to mid. Your teammates are already mid. I mean, maybe you ult this wave, honestly. Like, you just ult it to clear. Yeah, you just ult it to clear so they don't get the turret. Because...
yeah, I gotta get more used to ulting, bro. I would have never thought to do that.
Actually, have you clicked your ult yet this game? Genuine question. I don't think you have.
Bro, I don't think I have.
Yeah, we are 10 minutes into the game. We actually haven't ulted. I need to give you like a quota to like make sure you do it. But so obviously ulting the wave is not a typical thing. The reason you ult the wave here is because they'll get a turret. And turrets are worth over a kill. They're worth over 300 gold in terms of global gold given. So you would ult for a kill every time. That's a silly question. Of course you would ult for a kill. So why wouldn't you ult to stop over a kill's worth of gold, right? We have to think about it in that kind of sense. Not to mention you're getting gold from it from the wave clear. So what you would do is you would place your Q basically in between the first and second minion so that it grabs all 3 of the first ones, and then you W it. That way they aren't able to get it fast enough. Whereas if you look where your ball's placed too far, where it won't hit the front minion, so they'll still have enough to tank it. Kind of a random little thing, but that is important to notice. And instead here we see, obviously they get it. And again, your goal was just to push the wave and then go top to defend top turret. But instead you just push mid and then you leave. And that's because you take more damage because you waste more time because you don't ult it. And then now you go top late. So there's that. I actually kind of hope you don't ult the entire game. I think it would be hilarious if you didn't ult for the entire game, by the way. But there's still 20 more or 10 more minutes, so I think that's probably not going to happen. So my dream won't come true. But I like that you cover top here, though.
Covered up more than 5 times, though. Less
you
than
think you're ult more than 5 times?
No, definitely less than 5 times.
Gotcha. Yeah. And I mean, what? It's let's say on average 40-second cooldown. Maybe it depends on the ability haste you have through different parts of the game. So say average of 40 seconds, and you have it at what, like 3 minutes? So you have 17 minutes roughly of having it. So you can do over an ult per minute if you just spammed it. You could do probably about 25 to 30 ults a game if you just use it on cooldown, which you shouldn't do that, but that's like the most you could do. And you're doing like less than 5. So obviously it's probably, you know, closer to 10, 15 is probably a reasonable number to expect. In some games you just don't have angles to ult, so I get that. But your E usage, again, I don't, like, you never E your teammates when they're in fight. Like, look at this right now. Your Hecarim's going on them, and you E back to yourself. Like, why? Like, you're not even taking damage. E to your teammate, that's way more effective than Eing back to yourself. Again, and you just don't get the shield on him. Maybe even could have saved, what's his name's life, possibly. But I would have E'd Hecarim, to be clear. And then again, this guy you can exhaust. You QW, you ult this guy, he fucking dies, by the way. If you exhaust this guy, you QW ult, you're going to kill him. But you just won't.
Yeah, I think I dragged too. I could have, if I tapped, I could have landed the ult way easier.
Yeah, exactly. Good thing to notice for sure. And then we also care way more about Baron. So, okay, also, like, you're going to mid here, reset and go through mid. There's no reason to just walk straight to mid. You have 1,600 gold to spend, your half health, your half mana, just reset, then go through mid. There's no reason to walk straight here.
Yeah.
Doesn't really do anything. Do you ult? Yo, this is surely. This is like a fun mini game now. Okay, that's, again, like, this is an ult angle. Even now, like, these guys really just aren't being ulted. Like, you're actually playing a 3-spell game. I don't need to keep harping on it, but it's kind of just humorous to me at this point, so.
Yeah, no, I didn't notice how bad it was, bro.
Yeah, so that's obviously a good thing. And then, also, your teammates are fighting. Camps don't matter. Like, again, I don't know if you've watched enough of my videos to see, but I mentioned this a lot. 11 minutes is when you shift your mindset from fighting, or from farming to fighting, because that's when Baron spawns. And yet you're still concerned about getting a random Raptors. Like, I don't care about this Raptors anymore. You also should have reset earlier to spend your gold, but I don't care about your Raptors anymore. I care about mid prio and using mid prio to be strong in objectives and poke. Because once you get 3 items, which you're gonna naturally get soon anyways, because you're just gonna get the mid wave gold, like you're just gonna get it. But instead, your team's fighting around dragon, and you're just like not there, and you're just valuing gold. And that's fine if you were super behind, but you guys aren't even behind. You're like relatively strong as a team. Like the gold is close. And 2 of the enemy were dead. So there's no reason for you to do this. Like when you see me doing this in a game, it's because I'm down 5k gold as a team, and there's no reason for me to fight. Whereas if I'm 11, 12 minutes into the game, our team is even or ahead, and I just pushed a mid wave, I'm gonna go either recall or go and fight around the mid wave. Instead, you're just like side laning super far up here. We don't need to be side laning so far up this late into the game. Instead of just grouping with our team and getting gold naturally and then worrying about Baron. And then you also walk melee range into a Garen. I don't think I need to talk too much about why that's not good. But we really don't want to worry so much about side laning. We just want to be more concerned with mid and controlling mid wave and then moving with our team to sides or to objectives, if that makes sense.
Wait, say that one more time, sorry.
So we want to, from 11 minutes onwards, we want to control the mid wave, push the mid wave, and then use mid control to go into objectives with our team or to go into side lanes with our team. Whereas what you're doing is you're going into side lane by yourself like this here.
Right. Okay.
Because then you're just going to be fighting like a melee champion and they're going to do that to you.
So the play is like I should have like back then I should have like been a part of that fight or cleared the mid wave and I should have cleared the mid wave and then joined that dragon fight. Maybe
basically your macro, and you can again watch some of my like kind of Syndra or Ori games to see how it sort of looks in practice. But the macro is essentially past 11 minutes, push mid, fight, / get vision around objective. So push mid objective is what you should always be thinking. But sometimes push mid means fight. Sometimes it means, push mid and then go side. But it's always push mid, then do whatever else we want to do. Obviously, there's exceptions. If there's a huge fucking fight around Elder Dragon, just go and fight it right away. You don't need to push mid. Like, it's not some, like, rule where you're going to, like, your family's going to all die if you don't do it. But generally speaking, you want to do it. Does that make sense or no?
That makes sense.
Okay. And then if you push mid and you feel like you have nothing to do in the mid game, just spend your gold. Like, you push mid and then you have 1,600 gold, just go and spend it. Like, you don't have to wait till you hit 3,400 gold death cap. Like, spending it for 1,500, which gives you 60 AP, is fucking really good, Or if you get 3 books, it actually gives you 75. So it's like a little, do you know what I mean? Like the little trick where you actually just buy 3 books instead of a needlessly large rod, or no?
No, wait. Can you explain that?
So AP items, they all just build with a bunch of books, right? Like a bunch of AP items. So if you just buy 3 AP items, like 3, like the book, the Amplifying Tome, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So they're 500 gold and they cost, or they're 500 gold and they give 25 AP each, right?
Yeah.
And Needlessly Large Rod is 60 AP and it's 1,500. So obviously 500 you can get 3, 25 times 3 is 75, you get 15 more AP. And like the other because this needlessly, fuck, I can't say it now. Needlessly Large Rod only, I think, requires 2 Amplifying Tomes or whatever. But the 3rd Amplifying Tome will build with this Blasting Wand, so you're not going to, like, lose anything. It'll still only cost you 3,400 gold to get the death cap. Does that make sense?
Yo, yeah, that... I've never thought of it like that, but that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I usually don't do it, by the way. Like, deadass, I'm too lazy, so I just click on the Needlessly Large Rod, but I should do it more than I do. So it's a good trick to know, even though my lazy ass usually doesn't do it. So. And also, don't, like, stress about it. Like, if you, for example, say you had 2,300 gold here, you would just buy the Large Rod and the Blasting Wand, like you do now, and you should just wait for death cap at this point. But yeah, you can often just do that if you just have like 1,500 gold, for example. Not like a bad thing. I mean, it's just a good thing. And then just fucking ult him. Like this guy is running at you right now. Just wait till he does his spell shield. QW ult. He dies. He doesn't die to QW ult. He dies. He goes like 1 HP and then you chase him down. He'll die. But again, you just don't do it. You literally won't ult. Use 14 minutes in the game not ulting is actually hilarious. So yeah, we just need to
I think I ult here away.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is a...
Do I?
You also brought the brand thing in your teammate, I think. It's a little unfortunate. Yeah, it looks like your team wins. So yeah, you're a passenger as well. That's kind of another thing. Like, your team wins, you'll do some more EQs, some E's, you'll do some damage, and you won't int. But nothing you're doing is going to cause you to ever win a game. You're very rarely with this type of playstyle going to be the reason you win, which is going to lead to roughly 50-55% win rate depending on the rank, right? And the things that are going to change this are going to be like that extra confidence in that fight, those fights to ult more frequently, and understanding when you can just get as much gold as possible and play selfishly. So again, early on in lane, you're valuing these early rotations too much and not just concerned purely with your gold. And then later on in the game, past 11 minutes, you're being too concerned with gold when now you need to kind of shift. So you're not understanding when to shift. Also, 3 enemies are alive and you don't know where they are. This is just way too risky. Yeah, you're gonna die here.
Yeah.
So stop fucking side laning too. Past 11 minutes. General rule past 11 minutes is to never be. So if you could draw like a horizontal line across the map, like where my screen's going, you never want to be past this midpoint without your team also being past that point, because you can't tell where the enemy are going to come from any part of the map at any time. Obviously, if they're all dead or you know exactly where they are, that changes, right? If you saw them all top, you could do this, but that's going to be pretty rare, right? So you want to never be past that sort of midpoint unless your team is obviously with you or something like that. So.
Yeah, that makes... Okay. That's a cool rule. Yeah, we died.
Yeah, I think your team is just going to carry. So it shouldn't really matter. Do you want me to edit that out or do you not care?
I don't care.
Okay. That's good. I'm lazy, so I don't like editing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. Just go top here. It's good. I like that you have a decent you're more aware of side lanes than other. And if anything does pop up and you want to edit out, just let me know. But yeah, you have a decent awareness of side laning and whatever. And so I like you come out of base, you're actually going top rather than just grouping mid with your team all the time. So you have a good understanding of that. Like I said, just being a bit more aware of your own safety like that the time before. Other than that, it's good. Nice, you get the smite. Oh wait, you ulted. Wait, when did you ult? That was exciting for me.
Dragon?
Oh, you ulted yourself, bro. That can't be your first ult of 17 minutes into the game. Like that's tragic, but also hilarious. But yeah, I mean, I've done that before, by the way. So I do get it. I've done that actually probably way more than I'd like to admit. You just E and then you ult because you meant to ult first, but it happens. But yeah, other than that, I mean,
I will defend myself. This is on my phone. I never play on my phone.
Yeah, you don't play on your phone. No, I get that. It is. I mean, I've never played on an iPad. If I played on an iPad, it'd be awkward. So I do get that. That is completely reasonable that you're playing on a phone for this game. Because yeah, is it because you wanted to record basically, or?
Yeah, my iPad was dead. So
okay, I gotcha. Yeah, no, that's definitely gonna make it harder. So I do get that. That is completely reasonable. But I still will make fun of you for it because it's funny. And then again,
content.
yeah, for the content. But again, you just hit your 4th item, so you're still strong even though there's been plenty of mistakes and whatever. You're a 4 item Orianna, you're strong regardless. Elder Dragon is spawning right now. Do you see the mistake right now, given the context of the game?
I should be mid.
Yeah, you should be mid. 26 seconds till Elder. Your 4 items, you're not going to get stronger because you just got your item, which means you're nowhere close to 5 items, right? You're not getting stronger at this point. Just go and fight. So basically, again, obviously there are some more complexities to the game, but dumbing down the macro to 11 minutes onwards, I group mid, I push mid, then I fight. It's usually not more complicated than that, and it's a really good baseline to start from. So it's you can have exceptions where if you can articulate a reason as to why you're doing something, you can switch and do something different and deviate from the norm. But your general first inclination should always be past 11 minutes, go mid, push mid, then fight. And if that's your kind of default, then you're not going to find yourself in as many of these weird side lane positions. You're never doing this as Orianna. It's funny because it's kind of working because your team won the fight somewhat decently anyways without you, but you're never trying to backdoor. I don't think I've ever backdoored as Orianna in my life. It's not happening. I don't even know if I've ever really killed an inhib on my own as Orianna. Maybe every once in a while, but it's just not your job. We need to understand what our champ wants to do. You're so good at zoning people around objectives like Elder, so go and fight around that Elder and just focus on controlling that instead of side laning. And then yeah, again, this is where we want to be now. And I don't care about this side lane either. This doesn't do anything. Again, gold doesn't matter at this point. We're 19 minutes into the game. Elder and Baron end the game, right? That is all that we care about. So all you should care about is finding Viego, zoning out the Viego, and just killing him. Or killing the enemy and just zoning them off the objective. Like, this doesn't help you with the game. We need to understand when farming actually progresses the game towards a win and when it doesn't. And pre-11 minutes, especially before we have 3 items, it helps us get towards the items that we need to carry. But past that time, it's just really risky. And then also camera control. So you actually have this setting, the semi-lock camera, the setting that the eye thing. Do you know what that is?
Bro.
What was
I
that?
saw you use the video. So like
Yeah.
I got this. I haven't used it ever. I got it yesterday when I saw you using it in the video. So okay, there must be a setting for that. I found it, and now I'm using.
Are you aware
But
of how
I
it
don't think
works
I'm
or
using it
no?
effectively. So like you lock it onto like you move your camera and it's locked in that position. It's semi-lock.
Yeah. And then you
Right,
tap it
you're
back.
shaping most.
You tap it to make it go back.
Yeah.
So yes, so that's why the reason I pointed out is, one, it's really, really OP for mages and long-range champions, so it is really good to get used to. It takes time. It's going to be awkward at first, but it's something I do recommend focusing on. The way I tell people to improve is focus on one specific part of the game for a day, a week, a month, however long you need. Then you go to the next after that becomes habitual. So spend a couple days just only focused on this. This isn't the initial thing. You have the other things we talked about are more crucial, but eventually focus on this for a couple days. Just focus on getting really, really used to using it as much as possible. Get into the habit of using it and just keep trying to. But in this specific situation, there's 2 people on your screen once Viego shows up, and you walk into the melee range. Even though you see their portraits again, so you should know they're near, because the portraits only show up when a champion's near. So you know they're near even if you're not looking at your map, because you also should be looking at your map, obviously. But you walk in here, and then you see Viego. If you just scrolled your map down, like with the semi-lock, you would see him on your screen, and then you'd be able to space him and kite him. Instead, you literally walk into him. When you could just be QWing and then, just being... And then you're also not QWing. Like, you can do abilities while you're moving, which means whenever you're, like, getting ran down, you should just spam your abilities on the people, too, because, like, why not? You literally don't stop moving. It's not like you have to auto-attack or anything. So when you're running away from this guy, also, just QW him. You're just going to get some damage on him. Like, at least you get some damage off while you die, but instead you didn't even use your spells. And so, again, we're just a passenger. Like, our team comes and helps us, and they carry the fight. Or die, I don't know. It's kind of messy, but I think you get the point, right?
Yeah.
Also, I hope I'm not being too rude. I'm kind of just sort of sarcastic when I talk, but I'm not actually, like, trying to flame or anything.
I've watched, like, a bunch of your stuff.
Yeah, so you probably know. But
I've enjoyed this.
I just want to make sure.
Well,
And
not
then,
too
yeah,
bad.
you could eat yourself there, but I mean, it's fine. I guess your minion
Oh,
play.
yeah, look.
Yeah, your minion play got the minions to kill, so, I respect it. I wouldn't do it, but it's pretty funny that it kind of does work.
Yeah, it worked out accidentally, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, you were gonna win the game regardless. Like, that didn't matter, right? Because you literally have top minions coming, and you would have just ended. So it didn't matter, but it is nice that it kind of helped. Of course. So, do you have questions on anything we talked about from that game, or?
Yeah, that was a lot. I'll probably, honestly, I might end up texting you when I watch back this VOD and just making sure I
no,
get
definitely write down as many questions as you want. I would say, yeah, maybe like write down a list of the questions and send them all at once. Like after you watch back the VOD or whatever. But you're also, again, free to message anytime you have a random, stupid question, or not stupid question. But to reiterate, the main things from that replay are early game, focusing more on using your portrait lock plus like the Q combo, to just get some early poke in lane, punishing the enemy when they use spells improperly, like Brand waste his E, walk up at him, and then focusing more on pushing the wave before you rotate to an early scuttle fight or something. So push the wave, then go to the scuttle fight, rather than what you did, which is just straight up go there. And usually just focus more on when the enemy over roam, you hit the turret, you hit the wave, you just focus on getting that. Then from 6 to 11 minutes, focus a lot more on I push mid, now I go somewhere else. I push mid, I go get a top wave in side lane. So you really like side laning later on in the game, focus on that side laning more 6 to 11 minutes. Push mid, go top, push mid, go bot, push mid, get a camp, push mid, recall, do something after you push mid. And then 11 minutes onwards, now it just becomes mostly control mid and then go into objective and focus around fights. Are you aware of why the 11 minutes is when it switches?
Actually, no.
Because Baron spawns at 11 minutes. So that's why it matters. Because Baron is the first game losing objective / game winning objective. So before 11 minutes, there's nothing that can happen in your game that makes you actually lose. You know, like obviously if your team gets mega stomped and dies 8 times, then you're like in a row in lane or something, you're going to lose before 11 minutes. But like there's no singular action that can be taken or singular play that can like basically make the game get blown wide open. They have to have a bunch of small advantages, squeezing out gold, pushing turrets, winning lane, whatever. It can't just be like one lost fight. One lost fight is not going to ever lose you a game past or pre 11 minutes. But post 11 minutes, someone wins a fight, they get Baron, you can lose the game off that. Or the game can become really, really hard to play from that point. So that's why you care about the fighting and the grouping more past 11 minutes. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That part makes sense.
And the goal before 11 minutes is just to get gold, because you want to have gold so that you're stronger to carry at 11 minutes onwards for Baron. So that's why if you have a play where you can get 200 gold from a wave guaranteed rather than chasing a possible fight, that's why we want to do it. And then, so yeah, that's all of the stuff from last game for the most part. You're into a shit early game champ. Sorry, was there something you want to say?
Oh no, I was gonna actually ask, like, how are we on time? Are we
Oh, I go over all the time. I coached someone for 2 hours earlier this morning, and I was only supposed to coach them for 1. I don't really care. You don't have to pay extra. I don't really care. Unless
okay.
Again, if you're pressed for time, because I coached a different girl and she needed to go after an hour. So if you're pressed for time, just tell me. But I talk a lot, and I mostly just coach because it's fun, you know, more than like caring that much about the money part of it. So yeah, I don't care.
Okay, cool.
But you're into a shit early game champion who has no range, and you are not on the wave immediately. Like when you're in these types of matchups, you should literally be standing right here right now. Like nearly, like once the wave is like nearly coming, you're just standing as far as possible. Your goal is to get as much poke on him as possible, make his game completely unplayable, punish every last hit, and you know, take complete control of the lane. But when you walk up, like you don't walk up until the wave actually gets here. And again, it's a Kassadin. Like if it was like an Akali, it's different, right? But it's a Kassadin. We just want to punish him and get as many first strike procs and as much gold as possible. So even hitting this minion doesn't do anything. You should be standing right here right now, and then you should queue this. Did you have a question about the minion?
That minion?
What?
Can I tell you my thought process for hitting that minion?
Yeah.
I think I saw a video where you were talking about how when you're in a you want to have your lane slow pushing so that they have to walk up for CS. So I was thinking I'd hit it once and then try and harass him.
Yeah, so that's totally fine. Like that's totally fine if you just hit it once, you don't hit it again. It's fine. The reason it does nothing is because when you auto him, it's going to draw minion aggro. And when it draws minion aggro, your minions are going to keep hitting his minions, and his minions are not going to keep hitting yours. So it's going to create a natural slow push anyway. You don't need to do that. The reason I say it in these types of videos is because the concept is you want to create the slow push, and one way to do that is just an additional auto. And that's especially true in these more even matchups where you're not going to be just like pounding autos into him because he has no range, right? But it's totally fine that you do this one auto. Like this one auto, if you do it every single time, it's not going to cause a negative, you know, situation, as long as afterwards you're walking up. But again, the way you take space too is a problem. Like walk up here, you know, like get a Q on him. The fact that you haven't queued yet is an issue. You need to just be getting these Qs out on the enemy much, much more frequently. Because again, then your Q gets out into his range minions, which then allows you to, you know, throw the Q around when he walks this way or when he walks this way, and just actually take space in lane and then make him really, really scared to walk up. Instead, basically, you're not exuding any pressure until the minion is 1 HP, which is the best time, like I do say, punish last hits as well. And that's something you need to do. So you do a good job of this. And again, that's where making videos, sometimes it's hard to talk about every small nuance and situation. So I have to figure out a lot of general rules so that people can figure them, you know, like have a really concrete thing. And punishing last hits is very concrete and very easy to do every time. And so continue doing that as you are. But then additionally, when you're in these really strong lanes, just take this additional space in lane like you are now. But what's the issue with where you're standing compared to where I said to stand here?
I'm in the middle of the lane. Does it have to do with minion aggro? Maybe? Or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then all 4 minions can hit you because you're literally in the middle. Whereas if you stand here, yes, you might still drag melee minion aggro, but they'll take forever to walk here, so they won't actually auto you. But if you do it like this, these minions immediately draw aggro to you. and then these two melee minions will nearly instantly hit you as well. So
Right.
you're just going to take a lot more damage. And then
Wait,
you're also...
wait.
Yeah,
That
go
was
ahead.
not draw aggro.
What?
What did that? I hit him with the Q, but the minions didn't hit me.
Yeah, only your auto attacks draw aggro, not your Q.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The only time that abilities draw... Like, actually, I don't know the exact rules for how abilities work in terms of drawing aggro. Because, like, for example, like, if you are a Q is an auto attack, like, it counts as, like, an auto attack. So, like, it draws aggro.
Okay.
And there's some other abilities, like, there's some abilities that are not auto attacks that draw aggro. I don't exactly know how the rules work for that. But I do know that Orianna Q does not draw aggro. Neither does, like, Syndra Q. Or most mage abilities. Maybe someone in the comments will know and they'll tell us. Who knows? But yeah, so the aggro thing. And then the other problem, and this is a problem, I make this mistake so, like, relatively frequently, honestly, but you get too obsessed with poking him and you don't hit the minion. The easiest way
you'll
to
see that. I missed so many last hits, bro.
Exactly. And this is the thing. You have the minion, and so one of the main reasons you want the minion to be 1 HP lower, like as in 1 auto attack lower, is so that you can auto it, and then now that it's already killed, you only have to worry about poking him for, like, his last hit. Whereas if they're even HP, they're going to die at the same time, so then you have to choose between punishing his last hit or getting the last hit yourself. So that's why you also create that health disparity that we kind of talk about. So you could auto it right now. As you see, instead of autoing him, you auto the minion, and then now he'd have to walk up for the 1 HP minion, and you auto after. But instead, the way you do it again makes you lose the minion. So now he actually has a gold lead on you, even though you're obviously way stronger early. And so that kind of is the issue. And then you're pushing too fast now. So again, we want a slow push, which means we just want to keep it even, so he has to walk up for as many last hits as possible, because he's a fucking Kassadin. But when you push it this hard, it's now going to crash on him on the second or third wave, depending on how fast you push. And then if it crashes, he gets to farm for free. He hits level 3. He can come up on wave 4, hit it pretty easily because he has all his abilities at this point, take a little damage from you, recall safely for mana boots, and then you're fucked because now he's just outscaling you.
Yeah.
So
I think that's exactly what happens.
Yeah. See, that's the thing about playing as many Ori games as I have, is you kind of can see exactly what will happen. Like, it's a very linear champion as well. So even now, you still are kind of pushing too hard. Like, we don't need to push so much.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world as long as you... and then you made it the end of the world. So it wasn't the end of the world until you W'd here. Because the minion was still alive. And so, like, you can do some damage to casters because they're not obviously targeted first, right? The melees are targeted first. So as long as the caster minion doesn't actually die, it will keep the push relatively, fine for you. But when you obviously W it here like this, it dies, and now the damage is much lower, so the push is much quicker, and you miss another minion because, again, you're not paying attention to that melee minion health. So definitely be more aware of that melee minion health when you're trying to punish these champions, and be aware of minion aggro a bit more for where you stand, and then take space a bit, just take more space earlier on in the lane, even before the wave comes initially, in these easier matchups. So those are like the 3 main things: taking additional space, be more aware of when the minion's actually dying so you're not missing out those last hits, which again, it's a thing that I do as well. And then the minion aggro. Those are probably the 3 things from this early game. So this is good though. I mean, you're punished with autos well here. Like, you get a decent amount of autos on him. This is still a matchup that you're usually not actually going to solo kill, and he has barrier. I fear you're not aware that he has barrier. You might be, but oftentimes I find people have this issue.
I'm not.
What's up?
I was not aware he had barrier in this matchup.
So that's always something you want to pay attention to, is just the spell of the laner. Obviously they have a barrier. Like, I've fucking done it, The only reason I check is because I've been fucked by it so many times that at this point I just, like, it's a habit to check most of the time, and I still sometimes miss it. But yeah, you want to be aware of that. And then again, I think a lot of people, they feel the need to, like, you're not going to be able to recall when you should be able to recall because you missed too many minions. So now your gold is lower than it should be. But a lot of people are trying too hard to punish these lanes and, like, get like a kill. But a great way to punish these types of lanes is just get the first recall on mana boots. And then you come back to lane and you're a little stronger and you have pressure. Because it's not like you don't scale well. You're Orianna. Like, you still scale well. Even though it's Kassadin, obviously, it doesn't feel the best if he gets to scale for free. But yeah, you're going to have to stay 1 more wave. And again, you're missing another last hit. Because you're focused on poking him when you just got to be last hitting again. But here at this point, just hit the wave and then leave immediately. But again, see how you waste your QW on not hitting the wave? So now you're stuck here way longer. And so we have to understand when our goal just becomes, and also that word could be here, right? But we have to be aware when our goal changes to finding a recall. Like he's half HP, you're half HP. You don't know where jungle is at this point. Jungle can gank you, and again, I forgot to kind of mention the jungle tracking stuff, so I need to mention that eventually. But yeah, jungle could be ganking you, and he has barriers, so you know you can't really kill him. Again, you're not aware of that, but something we should be aware of. And then now you're recalling when you have a wave there, so now you're going to lose out on gold there because you took too long to push the previous wave. So now the next one comes, now you lose gold. So we want to obviously be recalling as soon as we push a wave. Like we push a wave, immediately recall so that the next one doesn't just get there. Instead, you get a little bit of a late back.
How much gold do I lose there?
From your minions, you mean?
Is that like, do I lose like both melees there, do you think? Or just one?
It looks like you should only lose one, but maybe two. But I think you only lose one. No, you do lose two. Yeah.
Oof, okay.
So that's about 100 gold, obviously, which is, you know, losing even 100 gold, and then just like you just miss a lot of last hits, which is just you just get super, like you miss 2 last hits even here. And don't get me wrong, everyone misses last hits, sometimes 3, but
yeah,
everyone misses them sometimes. But you're just like overly focused on poking him. It's not like you're missing because you're just like you just like barely fuck up the auto attack. It's you're just like focused on something else. So just make sure you're aware of the minions a little more, because like in the easiest way to squeeze gold leads out of shit players too, like in, you know, what, Emerald or whatever you are, is literally just farming properly. If you just get all of the gold that's coming to you, that's already going to give you a gold lead on most like players. You don't even have to do anything special in this type of rank against these players. So, and then again, you don't need to play that much for lane here. Like you can stay in lane, but you just like, again, just QE, clear the wave, and then you can look for a roam. It's very rare that I'll want you to roam an Orianna, but you're not going to kill him under turret. You don't know where enemy jungler is, and top turret is like 1 HP, like our enemy top laner is 1 HP, and there's a wave pushing there, and you have 25 seconds because there's no wave here, and you're just going to sit here for 25 seconds. You're going to wait for the wave. It's not going to be 25, it'll be, you know, 15, whatever, but you're literally just sitting here waiting for the wave and doing nothing. Also, there's fruit there. Grab it. You have Sweet Tooth. But,
right, yeah.
So like that's another thing, is the way that we squeeze gold out of situations when you do push a wave is also the Sweet Tooth stuff. Oftentimes you'll see me just like I push a wave quickly and I don't need a recall because I've spent a decent amount of gold, so I don't have anything to buy. I just go and grab the river fruit, you know, and just like, or I just grab these little mushrooms, you know, like just, however you can increase your gold in any way is good. Like you grab the mushrooms, go and grab the fruit here after you look here. At least a little bit of a gold increase, but we just like skip out on that. That's 90 gold that you just skipped out on. And then this is really good. He roams for no reason and you push. This is exactly how you want to be, just squeezing additional gold out of the situation. And then when he walks here, you should be QWing under turret. But I don't think you're going to. Yeah, you waited until he actually walks up. And you also QE'd, you didn't W. But like as soon as he's walking up, immediately be ready to QW him, you know? Like be more just aware of that type of poke that you can get on him. This is kind of risky because you don't know where jungle is, but yeah. And also, casting can... What's up?
It's a quick side question about the mushrooms.
Yeah,
that's not a league, I don't think, or maybe it is, but I left before it.
No, it's not.
How's that mechanic work?
It randomly got added like 4 or 5 months ago, maybe. It's literally just whatever turret is up in any lane, the farthest up turret will have those mushrooms. And the farther back it goes, I think the more gold it goes. So I think like your inhib one gives a little more gold, like 3 instead of 2. It's a super minute amount of gold. And they respawn, like 1 mushroom respawns every second. So you're not like... What's up?
Is there a cap to the amount that your turret can have?
Yeah, it's capped. It's like whatever your turret has right now is what it's capped at, probably. I don't know if it's 10, 12, 14, you know, but... It's some level. It's a minor amount of gold. It's more of a like, oh, I have nothing else to do, I'm just gonna go grab it. And it's only the turret that's like up farthest. So like if your tier 1 turret here dies, then your tier 2 turret would have it. If your tier 2 dies, then your tier 3 would have it. That type of thing.
Okay.
And then again, like we're not trying to really lane Cassidon past level 5. Like you're trying to lane him before level 5, and then once he hits his mobility spell, you know, really no longer really can, you know, fuck with him much. And it's kind of similar with a lot of assassins. Like Akali hits ult, we're not really trying to lane Akali a bunch because she can still kill us now. That type of thing. So yeah.
I think I tried to like hit him here, but that was probably not. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have the range for that. You're not like Varus or something. If you're like a really long range champion, maybe. And then again, you have a recall here. Like you have 2,100 gold to spend. That's a lost chapter plus other shit. I don't know. And instead, you stay here, and he can just kill you. If he has flash, he doesn't have flash though. But otherwise, he can kill you. It's still risky. And like if Lee Sin shows up, like you're lucky Lee Sin didn't notice you. If Lee Sin noticed you this game, you should die like 3 times. But you don't. And the thing is, like people, they'll get camped by Lee Sin, and then they'll be like blaming their jungler, or they'll be like, oh my god, I'm getting camped. But a champion like Orianna usually shouldn't be able to die if people are spam ganking you, unless you're like dying and you get the wave pushed and you don't lose out on any gold or whatever. So again, push the wave and then leave rather than staying and just hitting a turret once while Kassadin is there. The time where you go and you hit turret is when Kassadin roams for no reason, or when whatever mid laner roams. Like that's when you're hitting turret. You're not really hitting turret when the enemy is coming back to lane. Unless like
Okay.
Unless they like already recalled, you know, like they just recalled and you know you can get a plate. Like here, your jungler's here. Go fucking hit the turret now because you have safety, right? Like your jungler is there. So you're completely safe. But that's when you don't go and do it, right? And it's because you get that Ezreal snipe is funny. But yeah, it's because you get greedy for the like river, and then you go into, or because you get greedy for the kill top, and then you just kind of get caught out here. So yeah. Your Ezreal is kind of smurfing though.
Yeah, he was low-key carrying this game. I mean, how can you tell though?
What do you mean?
Like already, like that he's like real good.
He's not real good. He's better than the Emerald players in this lobby. I'm sure he sucks. No. Don't get me wrong. But like he's just carrying the game currently. Like he's just had some pop-off moments that were funny. I don't actually think his choices are good. Like he's being an idiot. Like I was more of like an off, you know, hand comment. Like he's being dumb here. He should be bot right now. He's trolling. This is stupid. Like it's not even like it's actually good. It's just like, you know, that was more just like, oh, he, you know, had some, because like his gold, he's 1-0 and yet he has less gold than you, because he's just like not, you know, farming properly, leaving bot and whatever, like silly shit. So yeah, he's actually not playing well. But yeah, it's fine. You go mid here. But again, why don't we, yeah, you just like leave the mid wave here for some reason, just to go get fruit, which is like, this fruit is way more risky than it is worth. Like you might die here. You don't know where people are. And you also give up a mid wave.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that actually. That's so crazy. Like I'm watching myself and I have no idea why I'm doing what I'm doing.
That happens to me too. Sometimes I watch myself and I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, you pretty much lost
I lost a wave there, didn't I? Just lose a wave?
Yeah, you lost like 3 minions from the wave. And you also lost all your HP that you got from the fruit, so it's kind of, you know, yeah, and then you...
And then I died,
yeah.
pretty sure.
You tried to ult, though. I'm proud of you for that, because that doesn't happen very often. So that's good. But yeah, no.
There you go.
But yeah, definitely just... You're not aware of the fact that Kassadin passed level 5, or once level 5, and usually, again, most assassins, they hit their level 5. Now they're scary champions. They can actually kill you, so you're kind of trying to pressure level 5, or before level 5, and then past level 5, it's just go to mid, push, and then again, find gold elsewhere. So 6 to 11 minutes, push mid, find gold elsewhere. Past 11 minutes then, push mid, usually go to an objective. So here again, push mid, then go. Because if you push mid right now, this turret will die. Turret dies, that's more gold than you'll ever get from this fight. And then you can still go to the fight late. It's not like you can't come late. So there's just no reason not to. And instead, you go here. You do get a kill out of it though, so it's not super bad. But you never E your teammate as well. Like you can just E him there. Small habit that you don't really have is Eing your teammate. The Ezreal lands his ults though, so yeah, I respect it. And then again, why would you, like, you don't need to be hitting this. I don't care about the dragon. Go back to mid again. Just hit the mid wave and get this turret. Turrets are way more valuable than a objective, like than a dragon anyway. Dragons are dog shit.
Really?
Oh, you're a League player, so you don't know this. Yeah. Dragons are fucking horrible in this game. Dragons equate to like a long sword worth of value. They're dog shit. But so we used to have this thing where getting a second dragon would increase the amount of buff that both dragons give. So say that you had an Infernal and it gives 3% AD. Then you get an Ocean and now you get 6% AD from your Infernal, and then you also get, you know, whatever the, like if it's 3% of your health every second or every 10 seconds or whatever it is, now it's 6% of your health every second from the ocean. I don't know the numbers, but you get the point. But now it's just flat. So you get the 3%, you never get more. The only difference is obviously soul, right? Are you aware of what soul is?
I'm actually not.
Okay,
Yeah, what does
that's
that
fine.
do?
So soul, if you get 3 dragons, which only 3 dragons spawn from a game, like there's never more than 3. Only 3 spawn, and after 3 spawn, the elder spawns. So 3, and do you know what time elder spawns randomly? Question.
I'm guessing it's not 11 minutes because that's Baron. So,
Yeah.
but after, right? Like
Yeah,
probably
it
like
is after. Yeah.
13? Is that
19.
19?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But so there's multiple barons that will spawn before elder. Like you take a baron at 11 or 12 minutes, then another one spawns like 3 or 4 minutes later, whatever. There oftentimes can be 3 barons that spawn before. But anyways, that's kind of sidetracking. So definitely some random knowledge that you could use as well. Since you're probably like a little newer to Wild Rift and more League player or whatever. But if you get 3 dragons, then you get soul, and soul gives a better buff depending on whatever the first dragon was that was taken. So if Infernal, like Infernal's the one taken here, now that Infernal was taken, I forget the exact buff, but it basically gives you a lot more damage, what you need to know. And so then if you killed all 3 dragons, you would get that mega buff after killing the 3rd dragon, then it's actually relatively strong. But the reason that even soul's not that big of a deal is because, think about it this way, right? We killed dragon at 6 minutes, probably means we were stronger. Not always, but usually, because usually if you're getting a dragon, you're probably stronger. Then, okay, we kill a dragon again that spawned at about 10:30. So now we're stronger there, we got the dragon. Then we kill another dragon at 16, 15 minutes. If we killed all 3 of those, we were probably already far ahead throughout the entire game. From 6 minutes to 16 minutes, we were stronger the whole time. We're probably going to win regardless, so the soul doesn't actually matter that much. That's usually how it works. Obviously, there's games where, for whatever reason, you get a dragon that you shouldn't have, or you steal something and something weird happens and maybe it matters. But the main goal of dragons is to get 1 so that the enemy doesn't get soul. And obviously if you have 2 dragons already, you can play for soul. So another important thing to understand with that, I know it's kind of a lot, again, you'll have this video to watch back on and we'll write some notes for you and whatever. If each team has 1 dragon, the 3rd dragon doesn't matter, so only contest it if you're actually stronger. It literally doesn't matter. Like, so many people make this mistake where each team has a dragon, you're down 5k gold, and then your team goes and dies at a random dragon, even when Baron is spawning in 30 seconds, and you could try to fight that where it actually would matter. Do you have any questions on all the objective stuff?
You know what, man? I will when I give you that
Yeah,
long ass text.
that's fair. That's fair. And yeah, it'll be good because then you'll have it typed as well, you know, the answer, so that will be useful for you. And yeah, so you have a lot of these sort of basic understanding things to work on as well, which is just comes with time and like I said, just asking questions. Yeah, I think that's everything related to that though. So we'll just go back into this. And I guess, yeah, did you alt here? You might have.
Oh.
No, this is such a free alt too. Like, why would we not? You know what I mean? You're just like super scared to all the time. But that's a really good alt angle. I mean, you just QW them and then Caston just ulted, so he can't ult out right away. Just ult them. And I like that you farm the Krugs leading up to that.
We lose this game, but I was also confused on why, like what made it, because I think we're winning right now, right?
No?
Kind of. I mean, tops. I mean, like what Timo? Wait, who's top?
Do you see the gold right now?
Actually, I don't.
Oh, it like doesn't show up on your screen.
Like, do you see the? Wait, I don't see the team goal.
Yeah, the team. So they have 39.5 thousand. You have 34.7 thousand. You're down 5,000 gold.
Top. Oh no, we're super down. Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, and that's because
I was winning lane, I guess, which is why I was confused.
Yeah, you had a gold lead. But yeah, you're like I said, your Ezreal, he kind of just like doesn't go to lane. He kind of just like fights. And so you guys have lost 2 bot turrets. You've lost mid turret and you've lost top turret, whereas you've only killed their mid turret. So you're down 3 turrets. So that's like one of the big reasons. And then again, your teammates are also down 5 kills, right? So that's obviously going to lead. some of that as well. But yeah, you're not bad about getting gold. Like I definitely can like tell like you have seen some of the videos and you told me that, right? And you kind of you know roughly where you're supposed to be. Your biggest issue is more when. Like I don't really think you know when you should be fighting, when you should be farming, and again, it's just that simple concept that we talked about. And then okay, so it's funny that you ult now. Anyways, I kind of lost my train of thought. Basically, yeah, like the simple concept of before 11 minutes, you're more concerned with the gold. Post 11 minutes, grouping mid prio fight. That simple thing should just make the game feel easier because you'll know where to be, or you'll have at least like a default place of where to be. But then, what am I going to tell you in relation to this ult? Are you aware? Lee Sin's an old champ. You should know what he does.
Yeah, he can like dash to like a minion, right?
Oh fuck, dude, it's different in this game too. He can dash anywhere. He doesn't have to dash to a minion or a ward in this game. Yeah, that's so like you know how people do like the ward kick or whatever in League, like you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just do that without a ward. So like, yeah, Lee Sin's broken in this game.
That's so stupid. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a. Do you know that Riven has ult resets in Wild Rift?
Oh wait, like when she gets the kill, it resets.
Yeah, if she gets a takedown, it doesn't have to be a kill; it could be an assist. I think.
Yo,
I'm pretty
what
sure
am I doing playing Orianna, bro? Oh my god.
No, Orianna's broken right now, trust me. But still, yeah, no, it's pretty funny some of the differences. Yeah, I didn't even think about this. Yeah, you don't know some of the random little differences. So yeah, there's that.
Crazy.
Also,
Okay.
what's Fizz passive in League? I don't know if you know this. I don't, but someone said it's different. Do you know what it is?
Fizz is passive. I never played Fizz. I only knew that I hated playing against him because he's.
No, because the point is Fizz passive is like he does damage to someone and there's like a little burn, like of some damage after.
Oh yeah, maybe.
I don't know exactly how it works, but yeah, it's like that.
It's been years for me on League too, so I don't know.
Yeah, then I don't know. It doesn't matter. Either way, the point is of all this is that he can dash away, and so you ult when he can dash away. You usually want to hold your ult until people do use their dashes. So that's kind of when we do want to be patient with our ult is when people dash or whatever. So yeah.
That's good to know though. I think I have a bit of a knowledge gap I need to kind of fill in.
Yeah, definitely. I would say a lot of your things are knowledge based. And then yeah, just finding those simple rules as well. Because yeah, you don't even know when like an elder spawns, when a baron spawns. All these random little things. And that comes with time. You know, the more you play, the more you'll
also
learn these.
I thought I heard you say something about like should I be hitting death cap by baron spawn? Is that what you said?
No, by baron spawn you should be roughly 1,000 gold from death cap is like the typical timer I'm at. Which how much gold do you need for that? You need 3,000 plus 29, 5,900. You need 7,300 plus 3,400. So that's 10,700. So you're actually pretty close. This game, your timing's not too bad. You're like slightly off pace, but you're like roughly on pace. Because oftentimes it's closer. Like if I get some kills, it's going to be more like I'm 500 gold off by death cap. So you're like roughly on pace. You're actually doing pretty good in terms of gold this game. And a lot of your choices have not been bad at all. The problem is here. This is like the first kind of. Again, what time are we at in terms of the game right now?
Baron just spawned, so it's 11 minutes, so I should be mid.
And I don't know. Can you just not see the top middle of my screen right now where it says 11:20?
You know, I can see that right now. Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. But yeah, so we're at 11:20, so you should be mid. Yeah, you're exactly, and you're understanding this. And it doesn't mean you can never side lane. For example, if you take Baron, now you can side lane because there's no Baron up, right? Or if your team goes and fights Dragon, you can push mid and fight Dragon as long as Baron's not being snuck or whatever.
I should be recalling right now, though. I think I don't know
100%, yeah, and you're already noticing a lot of these things, which is great. 100%, you should recall. Instead, again, you see how you farm a random camp, which like, if you do this at 8 minutes, that's totally fine. But this isn't 8 minutes anymore, and so, again, I think it'll be a pretty easy kind of thing for you to understand because now I think they're doing Baron now, and a lot of the reason they're able to do Baron is because you don't push mid and then get vision on it. You're kind of again less grouping with your team and whatever. And I think they might throw around Baron though, to be honest. Yeah, they're kind of being dumbasses.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so this ends up being kind of good for you, to be honest. But
do I land an ult here?
You should be Eing your Vi, like, and then ulting on her. Like right now, you E your Vi, she goes in, you just ult someone, and like it's really good. But instead, you just kind of hit Baron for some reason instead of chasing the fight with her.
Ooh.
So that could have been a bit better, but. Yeah, I mean, your jungler is dead. So this is like the time where it's okay to side lane. You just fought around Baron, a bunch of people died, you push top and you get gold. Like, this is where there's like the exception. And it's great that you notice this, because why would you go mid right now when mid's already pushed and there's no turret to play for and your jungler's dead and their jungler's dead? Nobody's going to do Baron. So there's like these exceptions where it's like, I have nothing else to do, or I know they're not going to do Baron. Push the turret and then immediately reset, because then you'll be... See, the problem is you want to reset after turret's dead, because now the enemy are respawning, and now you want to worry again about controlling mid. But instead, you're going up top side, even though now Lee's going to come here soon, and obviously...
Oh, yeah, I died here, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I died.
You flashed to the wrong way. You would have died anyway.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. Like, you would have died anyway. But you made it funnier. You're very good for content. So that's all obviously good. But yeah, just valuing the wave to get top and whatever, it was fine to get the turret. But you need to reset after, because again, that's the concept of tempo. I don't know if you've heard the word tempo used, or if you know kind of what people mean by that.
For this game, no, actually. Could you explain what you mean by tempo?
So basically, tempo is like, I think about the game sort of as like a turn-based way. So it's like, you know, if you're playing like a card game, it's like it's your turn to make a play, then it's my turn to lay my card down or whatever, like poker or what. I don't actually know how to play poker, but maybe that's how it works. It might not be. Doesn't matter. The point is, it's like a turn-based game. And so when the enemy are dead, obviously it's your turn to make a play, right? Because you're stronger. The enemy are literally not alive. They can't punish you. You get to do whatever you want. But the problem is, if the enemy respawn, and then you stay longer than is your turn when they're already respawned, one, you're on their side of the map, so they can get to you really quickly, and two, they die, which means they're in base and they spend their gold. So now they're stronger for the next turn. Whereas, like, you aren't stronger for your next turn because you didn't reset. So, like, when you died here, or you did have death cap, actually, in this case. But oftentimes, say you died here right before you were able to buy death cap. Say you already had enough gold to buy death cap, but you didn't buy it yet. You reset, or you don't reset, then you don't have death cap, so you're weaker for your turn. So basically, the point is, you make a play with your, you know, prio, with a fight, whatever. You take what you can out of the fight, but you make sure you recall before the enemy respawn, or else they're going to punish you for it, especially because your teammates aren't really nearby. And then an additional thing with tempo is if you push waves, it gives you the ability to make a play. So for example, if I push mid wave, now I have the tempo advantage because I can make a play because I don't have to worry about mid, whereas the enemy mid laner does. So you can create tempo from, obviously, respawn timers, like not overstaying after the enemy recall, and then also from using prio to make plays with your team, basically. Does that kind of make sense or no?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That last part about like pushing like the mid wave makes sense.
Okay. So yeah, basically just make sure you are aware of enemy respawn timers so you don't overextend.
Yeah.
Because yeah, they get Baron off your death really. And then
I think
again,
even like that rule you talked about, like the line being past,
yeah,
like that line without my team past 11 minutes.
Yeah,
I think
that
I
relates
broke
to
that.
tempo. Yeah, that's like the same kind of concept for sure. Kind of funny their Baron does nothing. Like, you're gaining gold off their Baron somehow. Kind of funny. And then again, this is such a good ult angle. Yeah, good ult there. What's up though?
Oh, did I ult there?
Yeah, look at it. Yeah, two-man ult. That was good.
Okay, yeah, I think my Discord's lagging like crazy. So
Oh,
I'm like seeing like, I thought you were just skipping through stuff, but I think my Discord's lagging low-key.
oh, okay. Do you think it looks fine right now? The game is just playing normally currently.
Okay, wait, yeah, it looks fine now.
I am skipping at times.
Whoa. Okay.
Like, this is a skip. I just skipped.
Okay, true.
Okay. I wasn't sure. Yeah, okay. Either way, you'll be able to watch back the VOD too in case it was glitchy at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just skipping through because there's nothing really like specific to see from some of these moments. Like, this is, again, you just group mid here, you just jack off for a bit, and then an objective spawns, and you hope you win the fight because you're strong. Like, you're very, very fed at this point. Like, these are the types of games that you can carry. So you see his W there? That's like the thing. He can do that. Because there's no ward, he just does it. But yeah, you're able to live, so it's not the end of the world. You probably would want to exhaust him when he goes on you like that, though, to be honest. And then you're also positioning. Yeah, you have exhaust.
Okay.
I can see on the thing here on the left, it's full.
Okay, yeah, I see.
But yeah, you're positioning pretty far back instead of kind of sitting to the right, because like Lee's on the left, so he's not going to come from the right side. So you kind of use that to find some poke. Instead, you're playing very, very scared, and not really getting any poke off in the fight. So it's not the end of the world, but something to keep in mind. And also, it's better to just recall even when you're that close, because if you recall, you gain health and mana faster. Whereas if you walk there, you gain it slower. Like if you gain it, or if you walk into the river or into the fountain, rather.
Oh yeah, okay. So I think this is from League maybe 2. I feel like the map is way, way bigger in League. It feels bigger than
It
it
is,
is here.
yes, it is.
When is it worth it to walk? Is it ever worth it to walk back to
I mean, like
well, like,
let's say you're like getting chased here, you can walk, right?
yeah,
But I mean, I don't know. I couldn't tell you like, oh, you stand here, it's not worth. You stand here, it is worth. Like, I don't fucking know. The general
true.
thing is just usually recall. It's pretty rare you're gonna walk, but if you're already like right next to there, you can walk. It's a really minor thing. It's very seldom gonna change the game, basically.
Gotcha.
And then yeah, this is a situation where you guys have 2 dragons, so this one would give you soul, so it's like relatively important, but you don't have to worry about it because they're not gonna get soul off it because they don't have any dragons. So it's not like the end of the world if you can't contest it. Then here, I mean, you miss ult. I kind of don't mind that ult, to be honest, even though you missed it. Like, he was barely out of range. Okay, but you W'd to speed yourself up instead of W'ing to kill him, which is a problem. Would have been a lot safer to just W that way, but... Because then you
Yeah,
also
what
have to
do I
walk
wait,
up
what do I
further. What's up?
yeah, could you play that out real quick? So then
You
yeah,
just,
why did I W?
I think you just did
Yeah,
it to speed yourself.
bro, I'm like watching, I'm like, what am I doing?
It's good. Sometimes you see these things and then it's just like, it's good to see it from this perspective because a lot of people don't really watch their replays ever, so then they don't notice this type of random stuff.
Yeah, I didn't know it was this bad, bro. The alt usage gotta change,
And that's good. That's
bro.
what we're here for. So,
Mhm.
Oh yeah, this is the indicator. Ally team has claimed Infernal Dragon Soul. So you're aware. And then this is a
Mhm.
fine... I mean, nah, because you should just group mid again. Because, like, what is it? Like, Elder spawns in 23 seconds. So this turret doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether or not you kill this. It matters if you group mid, you fight with your team. Like, you could get
And
caught
then we could like,
here, whatever. What's up?
so we could like hypothetically, like if we win Elder, we could win a fight near Elder. We could like run it down mid and win,
No.
right? No, no. Okay.
The purpose of Elder... Do you know what Elder does, first of all?
It gives like crazy buffs. Oh wait, you get like an execute too, right? Like at a
You get a
certain
burn and an
thing.
execute. So if you damage someone, they get burned for like 2 or 3 ticks of true damage. And then if they get low enough, I don't know, it's 15, 20% HP, whatever. There's an indicator, so you'll see it. They die. So basically, you don't fucking lose a fight with Elder, Like, unless, obviously it's possible, but you're pretty much just going to win every fight if you have Elder. You're not going to
Mhm.
push every turret, though, because it doesn't give you any buff for pushing waves. It only gives you, like, fighting buff. So basically, it's a combat objective. It's a game-winning combat objective because you cannot lose fights with it for the most part. But
Right.
if the enemy have good enough wave clear, like they do with a Teemo, a Kassadin, Seraphine, they can just sit there behind their turret and stall because, you still can't usually kill them under their turret. So the purpose of the Elder is to get Baron. You go Elder to Baron, and then you end. You don't go Elder to end, because then that's when you get fucked. Obviously, every once in a while, like if you just know the game well enough, you know your limits, sometimes you can just go, just end. But most of the time, it's Elder to Baron to end, not just
Okay.
Elder and end.
Gotcha.
And then yeah, you're coming from a more dangerous spot because you were on side lane wave initially instead of pushing mid. And then see again, you do this twice, bro. You're like a little side lane menace on the Ori. Like you're instead of grouping mid and then again the enemy get Baron because of this, right? Instead of grouping mid and then going into the fight with your team, you're just on side lane here, and now you're just gonna
Yeah,
lose
and
because of
I'm
it.
fed too. I could have probably changed that fight.
Oh yeah, you're 4.5 items. I mean, you're going to like if you play the fight well, you just carry it and you win. So yeah, and I'm assuming the game kind of just ends here because they have Elder and Baron. So yeah.
Example of like the gold not mattering in that situation, and like it lost me the game going for that gold.
Yeah, exactly. The gold, and again, that's usually the 11-minute mark. You know, obviously the 19-minute mark is going to be especially true, right? Because that's going to be when Elder spawns. So you see my screen for the notes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll just write notes out as I'm writing them out. We're kind of just going to try to go chronologically in the game the best that I can remember. As I'm writing them, if anything I say doesn't make sense, or you want it worded differently, or you think of something else we talked about, just interrupt me and ask, because the point of these notes is obviously for them to be useful for you. I'm going to send them to you after, obviously. But initially, first thing was kind of early game, take space level 1 in lane, right? Especially into these easier matchups, right? Like Kassadin, or when Brand misses a spell, like you walk up and you take the trade, rather than just standing in the neutral point in the lane and just walking up and autoing the minions and kind of not really poking out much. Try to get your ball out in lane more, like ball out in the middle of lane more. Lane more. Basically, again, just as we talked about, getting it on the caster minions so it can drag a lot quicker. Use portrait lock for better poke. Or drag to lock onto the enemy. Right?
Okay, when you drag your auto attack to the enemy, it'll lock onto them, and even if you are closer to an enemy minion, it'll hit the
champion. Yes, as long as you're in range. Yeah, and including your abilities, like you can auto aim your abilities onto them after as well.
Yeah, right. Tapping Q and W, or
yeah.
Q, tapping Q.
Yeah. Tap QW. I mean, obviously you're gonna tap W, yeah, but yeah, you tap QW when wanting to get it off quick, basically.
Uh-huh.
And then we'll just write drag Q when needing specific position of ball, or when chasing enemy down. Because when you're chasing enemy down, I'm going to write sometimes because it kind of depends. But when you're chasing the enemy down, sometimes you want it to be farther so that when they're running away, you can ult them then, right? Because it gets placed far behind them. Whereas if you're just trying to get the QW off and they're running away, you still want to drag it generally because otherwise the Q won't hit them because they're running away and it's going to put the ball in the center of where they're currently standing. But if you're just trying to land a quick QW, like it just get the W's slow, then you can just still auto aim it. So it's a little confusing. Again, might just help to watch some VODs, I suppose. But that's kind of generally.
Yeah. Speaking of which, if I could ask one more thing,
yeah.
I like, so there are different mindsets that you have for laning against different general champions, right? There's like the assassin mindset, like Akali, Kassadin, Ahri, or whatever. I guess I feel like Ahri's different from Kassadin because Ahri kind of has.
Oh, they're very different, yeah. But I understand what you're kind of like. They're similar in the sense that they're usually like finding solo kills on level 5 if they're finding solo kills. But yeah, I mean Ahri is gonna be. Well, Ahri is a mage assassin, so she lanes like a mage and she also lanes like an assassin. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Compared to a melee assassin. So Ahri in lane early on is gonna follow these same concepts. Take space level 1. Obviously not try to get ball out. That's a champion specific thing. But using portrait lock, auto aiming her abilities with the portrait lock, punishing last hits, when they walk up for last hits, not drawing aggro with autos until after the minion died. All of these same concepts apply to Ahri because she's ranged. So.
Okay, and I was gonna ask you, I think I mentioned earlier, like that my general rule. You can let me know if this is like realistic or not. Like how hard is it to reach like that legendary ranked thing?
Not hard.
Is that real tough?
How many games
No?
do you play a season, by the way?
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I haven't played Rift in a while. I'm like in school,
Hmm.
so like school just ended for me. So I just like I
Yeah,
low
like a
key like
month.
started playing it again,
Yeah.
and now I'm like, yo, let me try and reach this. I don't think I played last season. Like the last few seasons, I haven't played.
Yeah, so it depends obviously on how much you play for how hard it is, which is an obvious statement. If let's say you played, I don't know, 300 to 500 games a season, I think you'd unlock it this season or next season, most likely. And 300 to 500 games a season is what an average of 3 to 4 games a day. So that's not like great. What's up?
Is that like a Is that like 4 months? 3 months?
A season is 3 months.
Okay.
This season will end in roughly middle of January, so about a month.
Okay.
So about when your school would start up again, a little earlier, or a little later rather. Probably if you're in
Hmm.
America and you're in college or whatever.
Oh yeah, we're in Canada and we're
Oh,
in
fucking
college, but
loser. Well, I'm in Minnesota, so it's basically Canada, but still.
yeah, you get that snow too, huh?
Yeah, yeah, it's snowed a lot here already. It's fucking cold. So.
Wait, how bad is it? Is it a lot of snow for you guys right now, or is it?
Oh yeah, it's been snowing a bunch already this year for sure. Like it's supposed to
Oh, you
snow a
know what?
lot
I'm
more than
lucky.
normal.
It's actually not that bad for us right now. It's like
Oh
I'm like near Toronto area. It's
yeah, I don't
like
know where that is. I don't know geography, man. But yeah, is that like
what? You don't know Toronto? That's like the
no,
biggest
I know
Canadian
what
city.
Toronto is. I don't know where it is, like on a map.
Oh, like
Like, is it like
yeah,
in the
okay, yeah,
north or like the east or like where?
more more East coast, more east,
Okay,
kind of.
yeah, okay. You know, I know what Toronto is.
Sure. My bad, bro.
Anyways, so going back to did you have additional questions on that? Or
Oh no, 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 no. That's good.
okay. Other lane stuff was like standing. I'll just say be aware of minion aggro and lane, basically. I think that should make sense. Um, then, were there other lane phase things we talked about? I guess where you stand in, oh, the warding too. So ward either the lane bush. Do you know what I mean when I say lane bush? Like the,
Yeah, the one
or ward
closest to us.
river or a camp.
Hmm.
And this is an order from easiest to hardest, but also from worst to best, if that makes sense. Like lane bush is the least
Mhm.
effective ward, but the easiest to do. You do it most games. River ward is slightly more effective, but again, riskier because you have to go further out. Camp ward is when you're stomping lane, and it's the most effective.
Okay. Oh, sorry. My follow-up question to like that, like
Yeah.
the rank, the legendary ranked. For like effective climbing, is it most effective if I just like one trick Ori up
Oh
there?
yeah. One tricking a champion is most effective. I would say like kind of two trick. Like make sure you have one other champion that if it is Bander picked, you're like pretty good at. So 1.5 tricking, I guess, is best.
Like I was thinking about like because you're saying that Syndra's very similar.
Oh, they're
I was
the
thinking
yeah,
about like maybe
super similar.
Syndra.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a great one to do.
Yeah.
And also, I have a lot of videos, playing. Or do I have a rank 1 Cinder guide? I think I do. So I have like same kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So you can figure it out. It's easier when you have content as well for the champion. Um, so yeah, that's a good one.
Okay,
Um,
true.
yeah. Then in lane phase, was there anything else we talked about in lane phase that you remember specifically?
Um, we have portrait, bro. Oh yeah, I was going to ask like if you maybe I'll probably just make this myself like start like a document or something like that. But I want to like have like mindsets to have when I see the champion in the
Like which,
like in the draft. Like I want to kind of know like what
like your goal against different
like
types of champions?
yeah like when I like because sometimes I feel like I don't know and that's why I kind of do like the neutral thing every game. I think because I'm not
Yeah.
always sure how to play level one.
So this does come with experience, and again, you're like I said, free to just like message me randomly, like, oh hey, how do you play against Brand or whatever specific champion. But for now, I'll try to give you general things. So like into most melee assassins, um, yeah, I'll write it more like goals and different matchups, and then we'll just have it like sort of um just like tab here. So one into assassins, main goal is poke. First 4 levels, recall on mana boots, and you're gonna kind of squeeze some gold out of, you're gonna squeeze a gold lead out of them because you're having a lot of poke and mostly, gonna just get a lot more autos off and whatever. Then come back to lane, push wave, and try to not interact much once they hit 5
Mhm.
because they can all in you. Like Zed gets ult, that's scary. Whoever else get what the fuck is that? Zed gets ult is scary. Whoever else gets ult, like these types of things, they're scary. But a level 4 Akali, not the scariest thing ever. I mean, obviously if she has her W up, she can be scary. So also against assassins, be aware of their key gap closers. So Diana, Q, and then she dashes onto you, and then her dash resets. You know, Akali, she uses her shroud, right? Zed uses his teleport shit. Like these types of champions, you have to be aware of those specific spells. So if that spell's used, you're especially pressuring them harder. But the main mindset is poke first 4 levels, recall on your boots, come back to lane, push again, and then you're kind of trying to be pretty safe in the lane when they're 5, just getting the gold you can, and then punish their roams. Because a lot of times these assassins are going to roam, and when they roam, that's when you push the lane and you get, you know, free gold from a turret, plate or whatever. So do you have questions on the assassin matchups or anything at all?
Okay, so like, cause like I think my mindset going into assassins was like, as soon as I get mana boots, I can start pushing. I don't know. I might have heard that without context and just like kind of went, oh, mana boots. Then I push at level like at 6 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, no, like once you're hitting mana boots is when they're hitting 5, and they're also going to hit pen boots. If they're an AP assassin, they're going to hit mana boots. If they're another champion, they're going to hit AD boots, and either way, they're going to be stronger. So no, like that first recall, once you get back, you're usually going to be actually more weak relative to them.
So play safer and then wait for them to roam to push.
Yeah, so I can write that as well.
Okay, that makes
wait
sense.
for them to roam to push. So also, into these assassins. So an assassin's goal is to roam. Your goal is to lane. So the more they lane you, the happier you are. So if you poke them out a bit in lane so that their roam is worse, that's all you really want to do. So say they walk and they try to just push their lane so you can so they can roam. All you're trying to do is get as much poke on them as they try to do that. You're not going to match their roam. It's fucking Zed. He's going to kill you because you're going to go into the bush and he's going to kill you. So all you're trying to do is just poke him so that when he tries to roam, now he's 70% HP instead of 100% HP on the roam, so he's more likely to die. And then when you do see him roam, that's when you push and you play for a turret plate. So then you get a whole wave, make him lose the wave because it'll go under his turret as he roams. Get a plate, so you get 150 gold from the plate. You deny him 200 gold from a wave, and you get 200 gold. That means that you get 150 plus 200, and then you deny 200. So it's essentially 550 worth of value, which means he has to get basically 2 kills to make up for that, because a kill is 300 gold. So unless he gets 2 kills and doesn't die, because obviously he dies, he gives 300 gold away, you're coming out on top of that gold wise.
Or at the very worst, like even.
Exactly. And again, that's like we think about it in like the same way you calculate like the probability of an event occurring, where like you're thinking about it in terms of average expected outcome. So let's say you think 25% of the time he's going to get 600 gold, 25% of the time he's going to get 300 gold, and then 50% of the time it's going to go on average negative, let's just say 200, right? So then like you do what, like 0.25 times 600 plus 0.25 times 300, and then plus negative 200 times 0.5. And that's going to give you probably an average expected gold gain from him of roughly 200 from each roam. And then you're again expecting that 550 that we spoke about. So that's overall better for you. I don't know if that math thing makes sense, but you get the point. I think overall.
I've been in music school for like the last like 3 years, so my brain's low-key cooked.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like
I'm an accounting major. I'm more into math and statistics and stuff, so I get that.
Respect. Yeah, I'm trying to remember like my grade 11 probability.
Yeah.
That I made.
But the point, like obviously I'm not actually fucking doing these calculations in the middle of the game. You just think about it more like this wave gives me 200 gold. He's going and making a risky, not guaranteed play. I'm guaranteed this 200 gold every time. I want to make the play for the guaranteed gold and let him do that risky play. Like that's mostly what you're concerned with. So
right.
So these are the assassins matchups. Then you have obviously into other mages. It's pretty simple. Just poke, and play for first recall. Obviously on mana boots. And just squeeze gold leads. So squeeze gold leads from first strike, like fruit gold, right? And just last hitting efficiently, because you fuck up a lot of your last hits because you're focused on poking. So just last hit better. That's my key advice. Obviously that's pretty useless, but you get the point. Any questions on the mage matchups?
Yeah, one time Rise destroyed my asshole. What do I do against Rise? So I have to play safer against Rise?
Yeah, Rise is kind of a like so that's so first of all, did you ever watch my mage laning video or no?
I think I did.
Okay. So
Because
so
was that the one where like, you were like coaching like the
no.
Ori on like the Vlad matchup? Oh, oops.
No, I'll just show you quickly. Um, I don't know why I did this, but either way, if you go to the link in the description of any of my recent YouTube videos, it will link you to a Google Doc here, and it's just literally all of the key videos for any of the key concepts you need to understand as a Wild Rift player. Um, so if you're ever
Oh,
so if you ever want to know a specific topic, this is where you can go. But if you go to the laning and wave management side, there is a mage laning video linked here. And then in that video, I go over laning in different champs. I don't know if I'm playing Ori in some of the lanes. I might be playing Ori, so yeah, I'm playing Ori in some of them. I'm playing Ori into Rise. Oh my god, look at that. So I guess I don't remember.
oh,
Is this 6 months ago? So I would definitely watch this to really see what I talk about here. Um, but Rise is more of a kind of like lane bully sort of champion. And so there's sort of the different concepts of how to lane in different champs, and there's like mages into assassins, mages into lane bullies, mages into other mages, and then I think maybe I don't know what do I lane into? I lane into Rise here. I lane into Ori, so mage into mage. Um, into Rise, so more of like a lane kind of bully sort of. Into a Galio, or into more of like a tankier melee champion as well. And then
what do you
into a
treat
Yasuo.
Galio?
So this is like a really hard melee champion. What's up though?
I was gonna ask if you treat Galio kind of like an assassin early, where like you can kind
Yes,
of
it's
bully
quite
him.
similar. It's quite similar, yeah.
And then he wants to roam.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have a spike though, really. No, I guess like his like level 3, maybe.
His
Like when
level
he can
3 is when
taunt.
he has his full trading combo, so he can kind of, E onto you and then, get it just all the damage off, taunt you, whatever. So his level 3 is kind of where he gets that, like, access to that sort of mobility. I mean, even level 2 he hits EQ, but level 3 is when then he has the taunt, and it's kind of like a lot scary. So yeah, it's like level 3, where he kind of spikes in lane, but you consistently will win that lane throughout every point in the game. And he hits a global ultimate, and champs who have global ultimates, they don't help lane, right? So when you hit level 5, you just become stronger because you have an ult that does damage. He has an ult that doesn't help him lane. It only helps him roam.
Okay, so like that's like TF too,
Yes,
probably.
yes, it is. They're very similar. So playing into TF also, so obviously like all these concepts, they overlap. Like the macro
Mhm.
of wanting to stop TF from roaming is the same as the macro of wanting to stop Galio from roaming, but the macro or like the micro of laning against a TF is more like laning against a mage because he's ranged.
Mhm.
So there's kind of all this like overlap, and again, it can get all convoluted, and it's just like experience at the end of the day to an extent.
Yeah.
But yeah, generally into the other mages, you do that. You said specifically Rise, so I think that'll kind of more be, again, placed into the lane bully, but also, mage category. So into lane bullies. So this can also include AD lane bullies like Lucian, Akshan, Jace, whatever. But into lane bullies, play similar to, or like similar goal. You have the same goal as you do into ranged or into mage. The only difference is you will not have push, except you give up prio, basically. So like, I don't actually remember specifically what happens here. We'll probably end up seeing it into the Rise one. Maybe not, because I don't remember specifically what happens. But I'm assuming I'm kind of going to give him prio. Um, you see how I'm kind of letting him have the push, and I'm just trying to trade back on him in these types of situations. Like, I'm okay with him pushing a bit first. I'm not like, I'm still going to roughly match his push, but I let him have the a little bit of a push. Why do I do that? Because by the time that the second wave comes now, the wave is in a very safe spot for me where I can abuse my range advantage. Because you see how the second wave still is closer to my side of the map. So I'm able to poke him more effectively, basically. Does that make sense?
Oh, because it's like slightly towards you, so you
Yeah.
can like kind of you have your tower. Well, I guess like you're less vulnerable to like ganks and
I'm less vulnerable
stuff.
to ganks, and I don't have to walk up as far, where he can trade on me for longer. Whereas he has to walk up a lot
Oh, right.
further for me to poke into him, and he's more gankable as well, obviously.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Any other questions on the Rise kind of thing, or the lane bullies in general, anything like that?
Honestly, no, that makes sense. So like first wave, you give him prio. Second wave, you
You
Well,
give him prio, but you don't give him full prio. You give like
but
slight
don't let him
prio.
crash the wave.
No, you don't let him crash.
Oh wait, would you? Yeah, you wait. Yo,
You
okay. You know, I got to watch some minion videos because I don't know how. I don't always know how the lane's gonna reset after the first wave.
Well, lucky for you, there's also a wave management guide in there, and also an advanced wave management guide. Probably wouldn't watch that yet, but the wave management guide will explain to you what a slow push is, what a fast push is, how to tell what's going to happen, etc.
Mhm.
So there's also that one. But in terms of, I'll go back to this thing. In terms of the wave, so you don't want it to crash. You want it to only, like, you see how he has 1 minion auto HP advantage, right? Like this one's about to die, but just slightly pushing into me. You just want it to slightly
Yeah.
push, but you don't want it to fully crash, because if it doesn't fully crash, by the time the next wave gets here, again, it's going to stop it. Whereas if, say, he crashed it earlier, then it would reset to mid. Because if they crash a wave and no wave interacts with it, it just resets to the middle of the map. But if they don't crash it fast enough, then my wave obviously gets in lane, and then it gets stopped like this. You see,
So he wants to crash the wave then, so that you
he
can.
wants one of two things. So he wants one of two things. He wants either to do what he wants to treat it like how we talked about you treating Orianna in the melee matchups, where you have the one auto advantage, right? You remember the one auto advantage that you kind of did, right? That we said, like, it didn't have to be the auto. It could be that you draw minion aggro that creates that slight advantage.
Yeah.
But you want that one minion advantage. Because then it very, very slowly pushes into the enemy, and then every time they walk up for last hits, you get to punish them a bunch. But look at his auto advantage. He has like a 4 auto advantage, which is too much, because now it's going to push into me really quickly. That way, I don't have to walk up. Whereas, say that these minions were very similar HP, they would get to 1 HP very similar time, I would have to walk up, he could punish me. Make sense?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that part makes sense.
Then yeah. Any other questions on the lane bully stuff?
No. Are those like the main ones I should worry about? I don't know. I can't think of any other ones. I mean, I don't know. Would Yasuo be a lane bully too, or is
Yeah,
that like
Yasuo is like a melee lane bully. See, this is where, again, it becomes convoluted. He's an assassin, so you treat him like an assassin, but he's also a bit of a lane bully. So if it's like a hard, assassin matchup, you can treat it like a lane bully example. Where it's an easy assassin, like a Kassadin, you treat it more like how we typed. So it's kind of, again, it gets all mixed. It's why it's hard to make these generalizations, but I do them to give people an understanding of what they should usually be doing. But yeah, like you're going to have nuance to it.
What are you doing?
What?
When you have these matchups, like let's say when you were learning Orianna, or like when you were climbing on Syndra initially, like, and you were trying to learn these matchups, like what do I do when I get to lane? Like, was that just pure like you were just grinding games and just
No, it's
until
not
like
pure
you
grinding.
understood?
It's a mixture of playing a lot, asking people. Obviously, as a streamer, I naturally will know more people who are like pros and whatever. And then watching videos on concepts. So it's just like I didn't do anything special, I watched videos, I tried things out, and I also spent a lot of time thinking about it. Like when for example, what I'm explaining to you right now is a thing that at some point I kind of knew intuitively from grinding, because you learn these things intuitively from grinding. You get punished for something, naturally you're going to do it less, something works, you're going to do it more. That's how grinding makes you better. The way that then I have to change it when I have to articulate it to like you when I'm coaching you or when I'm making a video on something, I then have to actually be able to put it into words and give you a specific rule or generalization, which is what I'm doing, for example, with these types of things. And then that allowed me to like reinforce that concept in a more defined manner, where now I know specifically what it is I need to do. And then that leads to me finding holes in what I know. So it's like, for example, in a previous time when I was coaching, I coached Pablo. He's a rank 1 Akali, very, very good player, but he was trying to learn Orianna and Syndra, or one or the other. I think it was Orianna. And so I kind of had to explain to him like this like one auto advantage concept. And then now I forget exactly what it was that I'd learned specifically that was like a little different. But then like I realized, like, oh, I'm wrong on this certain thing, because I had to specifically explain it to someone, and it turned out, oh, I can't actually explain it. Like, it's just something I thought I knew, but it turns out it's not really working out the way I thought it. So the point is, you want to try to be able to first learn it, like just first just grind, figure out what works from experience, then watch videos to confirm or deny whatever it is that works or doesn't work for you, and then try to be able to explain it yourself, you know, because like the best way to explain or to show like mastery of a topic is to be able to teach it to someone else, rather than just being able to do it, right? So I don't know if
And
that really
that's
answers your
our
question, but
coach.
yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
I don't know. Does that
Um,
answer your question or not really?
no, that actually, yeah, no, that, yeah, because I was curious, like how, just like kind of how you approached it. So
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense. Yeah, yeah, that's good.
Okay. And then I also approach improvement by finding one specific topic to improve on at a time. So it's like if I'm trying to specifically improve my lane phase, then I go into lane phase. What is it I specifically need to improve? Okay, I need to punish last hits better. So I'm just going to focus on punishing last hits and nothing else. That becomes a habit, then I move on to the next thing. So it's also like go to my my Google Doc, be like after we first look at all the notes we're gonna write obviously for you. But say you're trying to improve 3 months from now, whatever, look at the Google Doc, be like, okay, I think my, jungle tracking is bad. Oh, Talon has a video on jungle tracking because he's so cool and awesome and does things like this. And then watch the video, and then that's the only thing you think about for the next 10 games is just jungle tracking. Figure out where the enemy jungler is, win, nothing else. That's the only thing you think about. And then it becomes a habit eventually. Then you move on to the next thing and the next and the next, and it keeps like going in kind of a cycle like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Wait, but like, when do you know when to move on? Like, I guess we should when it becomes a habit, like when
when
it's
you find
second nature.
yourself when you find yourself doing it automatically, like when so basically you're putting conscious thought into something, and then eventually you put conscious thought into something enough and it becomes subconscious. Like you just do it. I just look at my map now. I look at the timer of the map. I know it's 10:15. I need to start preparing for Baron. That just happens. It's just like it just fucking happens. And when you notice that happening, or when you get bored too, like if you're just like, oh, I just want to try something else, like just fucking, it's a video game. It's supposed to be fun. If you get bored of working on last hits 24/7, go to the next thing. But yeah, it's kind of just when you find yourself naturally doing it. Sometimes it can be 2, 3 days. Sometimes it can be a week. It doesn't really matter that much.
Yeah, and I guess maybe also if you stop climbing, probably
Yeah, for
maybe.
sure. I mean, I definitely have the moments where I try to improve the most are the moments where I go on loss streaks and it's kind of a good way to get over a loss streak is to find something specific to improve on, because then you're focusing on that thing instead of focusing on the fact that Riot Games gave you very bad teammates again or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so then there's this stuff. Kind of the last couple points are probably just past 11 minutes. Well, I guess I'll first write from 0 to 6 minutes. Goal is to get gold from lane and just squeeze advantages that way, right? Basically all the lane phase stuff we talked about. Then from 6 to 11 minutes, and again it's more like 6 to like 10:30 because obviously you want to prepare for Baron in advance, but from roughly 6 to 11 minutes, goal is to push a wave and use that push to go to another wave and maximize gold across the map. Whereas lane, first 6 minutes, you're just getting gold from your lane. You're very rarely roaming. For Ori, if you're playing most champs, it's still similar, but a little more roam focused. But for Ori, it's really just like my lane is the only thing. That's one reason I like these champs. Very, very lane focused. 6 to 11 minutes, now the map essentially gets unlocked for you. Like some type of quest thing in a video game. I don't know. Like you actually get to explore the entire map rather than just being confined to your one place. But you first have to push your mid wave before going to the other places usually. And then 11 minutes onwards, mid control into objective control. Right? I think that's straightforward. If it doesn't make sense, let me know. But pretty much.
Yeah, push like essentially like push mid and like so that you get priority on objectives.
Yes,
Right?
exactly. And you use that to
Generally.
get a ward, to fight, to do whatever, basically. Yeah.
Okay.
Random things you should know. First Baron lasts 30 seconds shorter than other Barons, so it's weaker. Baron spawns at 11. Elder spawns at 19. Dragons suck unless you get all 3. Anything else we talked about? Questions? Oh, your fucking alt. Alt.
Hey.
That's the advice, is to use it. You know, just use it more. And then stop holding or stop dragging Q so much. Tap it more, which I think we kind of wrote. Or yeah, I guess we kind of wrote that already, but I would just say I just want it to be a clear thing. So yeah.
Important. So I gotta remember.
Are there other things that you remember? Anything at all? Oh, teammate more as well. But yeah.
Right, teammates. Yeah, alt more. Yeah, I feel like that's probably honestly. I'm kind of like thinking like I'm honestly okay. I'll be honest. I'm like a little bit overwhelmed with the amount of stuff. I mean, I'm happy because like I have a lot to like work on, but like I'm almost like kind of like my next game. What do I want to look at?
Yeah. That's a good thing to mention. So we actually I think I just fucked thing. Nope. Okay. Anyways, sorry about that.
No worries.
We just talked about basically you choose one thing to work on, you build it as a habit, then you go to the next thing. Like that's pretty much everything I was telling you. And so you're going to do that with these notes. So with these notes, you're going to choose 1, 2, or 3 topics and only care about those, and then go to the next. An additional thing to do is to prioritize it based on game time. So as in, there's some things you only need to worry about 0 to 6 minutes. So find something to improve on 0 to 6. Find something to improve on 6 to 11. Find something to improve on 11 onwards. So right now I would say, and so I'll just write this next, highest priorities. All of the lane phase stuff, but especially taking space in lane is good to focus on for the first 6 minutes. For first 6 minutes, also, the not rotating the fights right away, until you push, right? So that was point 8. What's up?
I totally forgot about this one thing.
Yeah.
Okay, first strike procs. On the Ori, I'll probably figure this out once I watch some of your Ori games. But like when I landed first strike proc, I read it over and over again. Okay, I think how it works is you hit them. It says you have to initiate combat or hit them, right?
Yeah, you have
I'm
to
guessing that means you land something first.
Yeah,
and then you have
attack ability, whatever.
A quarter of a second to like hit something else.
So after landing your first strike of damage, whether it's an auto, an ability, whatever, for the next, I don't know the amount of seconds, 3 seconds, let's say, but it could be a different amount of seconds. But let's say for the next 3 seconds, any damage you deal to that person will have true damage on it, from 7% bonus true damage, and based on the amount of damage you deal to them, you get more gold. So the first time you hit them, you get a guaranteed 10 gold. Then all of the damage you deal after that, within that 3 seconds or whatever number it is, that gold, or that damage, the more damage you do, the more gold you get. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So like, if you do like 20 damage, you get 20 gold or something.
Yeah, that type of thing. Yeah, and so like sometimes, you know, I'll be like late game first strike champion, like Orianna, you get like a 4-man ult and you get like 200 gold from a first strike proc. Like it's so funny sometimes. But obviously most of the time you're only getting, you know, 10, 20, 30 gold from it. So. Any more?
Okay, yeah, that was
okay.
Good.
Then from 6 to 11 minutes, focus on after pushing wave, finding gold across the map, basically. And then 11 minutes onwards, focus on grouping mid more and the mechanical stuff. So like your ult usage, your E usage, you're going to be fighting a lot more, so you want to focus a lot more on your fighting improvement here, right? So if you're overwhelmed with all of these, bigger notes, initially just look at this, do some of this shit, and then once you feel like you've gotten better at that, you can start moving on to more like, specific or niche points.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That tracks. That tracks for me.
Okay.
That works.
Yeah, that's probably plenty of things. So unless you have additional questions, I'll probably just send you these notes. Is there anything else you have questions on?
No, well, firstly, like I appreciate you so much being like so generous with your time today, man. This was super helpful for me.
Yeah, no, it was fun. I'm glad to.
Yeah, man. I found your channel like I think like a week ago, and I binged a bunch of your stuff. Um, yeah, man. You made a new fan, bro. So I'm like,
I'm glad. I'm glad. I
yeah.
appreciate that.
Ooh, are you streaming today at all?
No, today will be the first day in like 20 something days that I don't stream. I will stream the day
Oh,
after. I stream most days
true.
from anywhere around 4 to 6. It's 4:14 right now for my time. Anywhere around 4 to 6 I start and I stream for 4 to 6 hours.
And you're in school while you're doing this too?
Yeah, yeah, I'm a sophomore in accounting major, yeah.
Yo, respect to you, dude. Respect.
Thank you.
But yeah, man. No, that's it for me. Thank you, man.
All right, see you later. Good luck.